Welcome into a Thursday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, live, powered and driven by Go Chevrolet. Boot up!
Boot up.
On this Thursday morning. We will talk to Willie Wade here in 30 minutes as the head coach of the Tigers. 15-1.
What a win.
Go on the road to the swamp, to the, whatever it's called, the O'Connell Center. What is it, the Executone Center?
I don't know. Who cares? Who gives a crap? In a very, very fairly refed game, too.
Jeez, bro.
Jesus
21 fouls to 10. I thought Wade last night was incredible. His answers last night in his post-game press conference, he was fired up when he sat down. He was fired up when he left, but in between there, he was baited a little bit by Ron Higgins to see if he couldn't bite on that officiating stuff, and his answer was great.
Ron.
Yeah.
Ron. That's all I'm going to say about it, Ron.
But an incredible win by LSU last night as they go into Florida.
Well, Papa Earl saving the day.
Here we go. We probably should put something here to balance it out. The way.
Right, easy there.
Take it easy. Where's Go Pokes? Come help us with the table.
The old tri-leg tables are very flimsy.
64-58.
So stylish.
LSU rolls last night. We will talk to Will Wade, as we said about it, at 7:30 this morning. 8 a.m., Shea Dixon will be here from Go 247. Lots to get to with Shea at 8 a.m. If you have questions specifically about recruiting, transfer portal, coaches, anything that may be
scholarship limitations.
Absolutely. Circling around LSU football, jump inside the chat, jump inside the
bunker.
The bunker with a hashtag #AskShay. And then at 8:30, we'll talk to Ben Baby from Cincinnati as he'll be up with the Bengals. He has been covering the Bengals for ESPN.com as the Bengals and Las Vegas. I didn't know that the last time the Bengals had won a playoff game was 1991, the day that Bo Jackson dislocated his hip. That was the game.
Wow, I did not know that.
That was the last time Cincinnati won, and it was in Los Angeles, playing Jackson and the Raiders. Jackson breaks away for a long run. Somebody from the Bengals tackles him in the open field. The rest is history. He has the, life-changing injury. But that was the last time the Bengals have won.
Did not know that.
A playoff game. And Joey, let's call it year one.
Because
it means
1.5. We'll call it 1.5.
Yeah.
1.5.
1.3.
I mean, Marvin Lewis.
Got him divisional champs and in the playoffs.
Yeah. He had Marvin Lewis, so would always go 500. Right?
Marvin Lewis was 8-8.
8-8 all the time. And you had Andy Dalton, who would take him to the playoffs, but never win in the playoffs. Yeah.
Who was their last head coach that was on Hard Knocks? That went with
Marvin
the defeated
Lewis.
season.
Was it not Marvin?
No. The Hugh.
Hugh Jackson.
Hugh Jackson.
He's the head coach at
Grambling State.
Yeah.
The Bengals have been through a run, and look what they needed. That's why the NFL is so desperate. If
it's
you
a quarterback league, man.
Or a friend of a franchise, to find a guy, because they found a guy.
Well, look what Joey B did at LSU.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Pay now. Daily, we're brought to you by Papa Earl's. Shout out to Papa Earl's. 30% less sodium than the competition. True Blue Water. As Matuk drinks out of the True Blue Water, we were just restocked. If you want to get on the delivery route, check them out. TRUBluewater.com. Metropolitan Health Group. Busy day for our guys over at Metropolitan Health Group, Jason Ramazan and Charlie Harvey, as they bring you our phone line every day, and the phone line will be buzzing with Will Wade at 7:30, Shea Dixon at 8 a.m., and Ben Baby at 8:30 this morning. Things moving in the right direction for Mic'd Up. Logo created yesterday.
Colors are coming soon.
Show will be launching on Monday. We're fired up about our maiden voyage over here at FM Digital Network. We got a couple of meetings in the hopper about some other shows that could be popping up here, but we're kicking it off as Matuk is batting leadoff for us, as it will be Mic'd Up's debut on Monday.
11 to 1.
A little bit of a different look. Be 11 to 1, middle of the day. Have we started to promote the YouTube channel yet? Have we started to push that?
We have. I think we got.
We need to put that on the link.
Yeah. Jack's got some clips on there, so we got the YouTube channel coming out. Logo will probably finalize here soon, and that'll be on there. Logo is sick.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. The black and white one looks.
I know. We can use something with that. We can use something with that. We need some colors. We need
Silver
some colors. I
and
like that.
It looked good.
I like
modern.
All right, so hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that comment button.
Subscribe to Mikey's YouTube channel.
Yes.
Mic'd Up. We'll drop the link. We'll drop the link.
We will put the link up. All right, so lots to get to. We'll start there. We'll start in Gainesville as LSU rolls into Florida last night without Xavier Pinson and essentially without Tari Eason and Efton Reed. Really. I mean, they go in there, Reed and Efton, Efton and Eason are limited by fouls. Eason fouls out with 14 minutes left in the second half.
Played 7 minutes.
Efton checks out, gets out of the game with 7 minutes left in the game. You mentioned Eason only playing 7 minutes. I mean, essentially he had little to no impact. Now, when he was in there in the first half, he was balling.
Yeah,
he was balling. But
taking the pocket of a point guard.
Yes.
I mean,
dude, his hands
so stupid.
His hand, and in the open floor, he's so impressive. It is.
He's such an asset in breaking a press because the guy that picks him up can't handle him with the ball in his hand.
He's such a mismatch.
Yeah.
But last night, I thought the play of Eric Gaines, Brandon Murray, and Darius Days. Days, as Wade said in his post-game press conference, that has been an arena and a place where Days has struggled. He probably presses when he plays there because that's going home for him, right? Like, I mean, like that's in front of a lot of people that he grew up around, a lot of people during, he was recruited very hard by Florida. So I think that, up to this point, he was pressing. But last night, he made up for it as he played 35 minutes, scored 13 points, had 20 points, and had some enormous rebounds. He had 6 boards. LSU
His mid-range game was on point.
Yes, it was on point. I mean, reining them in.
That's what I've been waiting for him to do. It's like that. He hadn't really done that since the first couple games of the season.
And really, one of the difference makers I thought last night was LSU shot selection.
Yep.
I thought for the first time, or maybe now in successive games, I thought against Tennessee they were really taking smarter shots than they had in previous games. But last night they only took 9 3-pointers, and they were playing so aggressive and attacking the goal and putting the pressure on Florida that they had to do it because of their personnel. But I thought that was a program defining win. We hadn't even talked about Sharif O'Neal in the minutes.
To me, that was
buried the lead.
Because Sharif,
yeah,
we did. We buried the lead because Sharif, in my opinion, and we'll ask Coach Wade about this, I feel different about LSU basketball this morning than I did when I left Auburn.
We're 10
like
deep.
the morning that I left, that we got back and we did the show after I got back from Auburn, I said Auburn's a Final Four team. LSU feels like a Sweet 16, Elite 8 team because I don't know if they have the personnel to get over the hump that they were missing last night against Auburn with Sharif O'Neal, where he can come in and play 8 to 12 minutes. Let's say when he gets real right, because you said it this morning, I said it last night on the watch party broadcast. He looked like a baby giraffe out there. I mean, his legs were not quite under him yet. His shot was flat. But credit him. I mean, because Will said it last night in the postgame. He called Sharif on Sunday and said, stay ready to be ready. Because I don't know when I'm calling on you, but it's coming close.
Yeah.
It's getting here.
Yeah.
And last night, we said it before he even checked in, when Efton picked up that foul and they had their bigs in foul trouble, we were sitting in that room and said, "Here, now's the time you got to go to him.
Now's the time.
You got to check it."
Yeah.
And then the TV camera picked him up, and he was kneeling down at the scores table, and we were all kind of like, "I think that's Sharif right there." Yeah. And I mean, as soon as he came in, he made an impact, and
love the 2-4 on his back too. That's
the 2-4 was beautiful, and then he recognized when he caught that ball and he was singled up, and he kind of was like waiting on the double team to give it up because he was unsure, I think, if he was really ready to attack.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he put the ball in the wood, got to the rack, and you were thinking, "Wow, that'll get you." I mean, that's stepping up there after a month slump, and you hit a double into the gap.
First
I mean, that's just like, all right, boys, I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm ready to play. I mean, that had to be a moment for him where he was like, "Oh shit, I'm here. Like
No
it's
doubt.
time. It's time. Like I'm ready to go." And then after that, I mean, it was kind of like watching Justice Williams at Auburn. You were kind of waiting on the moment to swallow him up. You were waiting on the moment to be like, all right, man, he's just a freshman. He's supposed to be here. I mean, this moment's going to, at some point, it's going to get him, and it never did.
Nope.
Last night for Sharif, you were kind of waiting on the moment and the night, the moment just to kind of eat him up, and it never did.
Never.
And that makes me feel different about LSU basketball. That makes me feel like they could
Well,
you could get on a run.
Play a team like Auburn now, you can
match up.
You have the and look,
you have more fouls to give.
Our two big guys fouled out, and we really, I mean, yeah, obviously it affected us, but with Sharif, you don't miss a beat. Like, he comes in there, he blocks shot, he's a rim protector, he got some rebounds, he put the ball on the goal. Like, he did things that we haven't been able to see once Efton and Tari are out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, we don't have that other, the super deep front court.
Yeah.
But, dude, he looked, I mean, I didn't know he was even
Dressed.
Available.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
you know,
like,
he's been dressed since Auburn.
right. I just didn't know. I thought he was
Yeah.
just dressed. I didn't know he
Yeah.
was, like, available to, like, play.
But I mean, you know, like
yeah.
Sean Eddy, who deserves so much credit. We'll ask
Great guy.
Wade what
Great
he
guy.
what Eddie means to the program. He's been there forever.
Since I've been there. Before
Yeah.
I've been there.
I mean, he was on the Final Four team with
Before
Glenn
I
and
was-
them.
Yeah.
With just what he means to the program and what he's kind of set up. How good is Brandon Murray?
Dude.
Like, he's one of the guys that you don't really talk about, but some of the shots that he hits, that putback that he made on that offensive rebound was such a huge kind of like everybody cool out
Right.
moment, right? Like as a freshman. And another thing that Wade said that we might be taking for granted or just not recognizing, because we're all living in the moment with this LSU basketball team, and you're thinking, what can this crew accomplish this season? Because it does feel like the sky is the limit. Like, you don't really know. I don't know. The capabilities of this team this morning is different than what I thought about what they were 24 hours ago because of what Sharif O'Neal can get. And if he continues to improve and his confidence continues to get better and physically he you know, it starts to kind of add up for him mentally, they're a different team. I mean, they're a different squad.
He stretches the floor. He can shoot threes. He has range, too.
But what we might not, you know, like what we're taking for granted and not realizing right now is how much this is doing for the future. I mean, Alex Fudge playing 20 minutes on the road in that game. You know what that is going to mean for him next season, like in his just development? I mean, even Eric Gaines' moments last night. I mean, he took
Nails down the
strides.
stretch.
Grew up. I mean, like, you want to talk about shot selection and it being a difference last night? I thought Gaines was the one that really made the most sense on that. I mean, he banked in that three. Other than that,
Well, he had to.
It was shot clock. Yeah, he was going against the shot clock. But I mean, other than that, I couldn't think of a bad shot that he took.
No.
Really. And he set people up to take good shots. I mean, he truly ran the point last night. There are some times within the game when he's out there where you're like, chill, see the thing first. You know what I mean? Like, before you make that sudden pass or shot, like, maybe reverse the ball or try to penetrate, try to get in, run the point. And last night, I really he felt like a point guard for 40 minutes. Every time he was out there, you were like, I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not watching it tight, like kind of waiting on him to mess up.
Well, because you know what you get with Gaines, right? You know that you're going to have to be able to take the good with the bad. But he even talked about how much Will Wade worked with him, and Will Wade said the same thing, how much he's never worked with point guards like that.
Yeah.
And he, like you said, he said, Gaines is more fun my way, isn't it? But it's because he knew Gaines, he instilled in Gaines that, like, you have to be able to run the point not the way you traditionally do. Like, you have to be a traditional point guard. You can't be Eric Gaines that goes 100 miles an hour every play. We love that energy that you bring, but we need a little stability. And I thought who did that the most was actually Brendan Murray.
No
he
doubt.
was the one that silenced. Anytime you needed a shot, he was kind of there for
He
you.
did the same thing in the Kentucky game. He did the same thing in Tennessee game.
42 points in the paint last night.
Yeah.
42 points in the paint last night.
That's how Will Wade wants to play.
Here's the thing that I thought was so impressive. You lost a leader on your team, your starting point guard.
In Pinson?
And we did not
You never blinked.
turn the ball over. We didn't have double-digit turnovers last night. I don't think we had 8 turnovers. I think we had 6 or 7 turnovers. Like,
more fouls than turnovers.
Six turnovers
19 to 6.
without your starting point guard in the game, right? And everybody is like, oh, you know, Eric Gaines, he's exciting, but he has 6 turnovers with him as a starting point guard. That's a great sign, right? The second thing that really stuck out is they never panicked. They gave up a 14-point lead. Florida had their run. They made some threes. They got it down to 1. Never panicked. Never. They kept going. Murray made some big shots. They got the thing down, and you could hear Jimmy Dykes saying it. He could see it, like, oh my God, this team is different.
Yeah.
This is different than any other Will Wade team I've ever seen. This defense is real.
Real.
And it is the best defense I've seen. And he was gushing, and it was like, man, the national media and the pundits can't say anything anymore.
They can't help themselves.
They cannot fight this anymore, and I love that. Love that.
I do too. You could hear it in Jimmy Dyke's voice too, where they hit a couple of shots. Days hit a couple of shots, and he was like, "Whoa, double D!"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, big shot. I think I screwed that turnover stat up. I think they had 16 turnovers.
Oh no, did they?
Yeah, they did. They had, but points off of turnovers, they had 6. I did. I screwed that stat up. Yeah.
LSU had 16.
LSU had 16.
It got a little squirrely there in a couple of spots.
I thought I read. Maybe not. That was my fault. I'm sorry.
No. You're good on that. Gaines had 0.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
There you go. So that half. I got my half. My point was half right.
Yeah. Leave it to the scores table.
Yeah, that's okay.
How impressive was not only Sharif stepping up in the way he did, he was kind of forced into action, right? If you don't have Tari Eason, you don't have your other bigs and Reed. But to see Tari Eason when he fouls out so early on in the game in the second half, and for him to step up in that leadership role and the way he was acting on the bench, first one off the bench, he was mopping the floor during timeouts. He was unbelievable, and that's what Will Wade's built with this team. Everybody's a leader, and they know their role, but they're not afraid to step into different ones just to whatever it takes to make the team better.
Eason pulling the huddle in.
That's unbelievable.
With 6 minutes left after he had fouled out, I think is a everlasting moment of this team. I think it's like a moment that you will
one shining moment
see from LSU basketball looking back. I mean, that felt like that was a kind of season-defining moment for that team, the bench, kind of like looking at Tari Eason and him being out and still so invested of what's going on, and then to hear Wade after the game talking about that Eason's like screaming into the huddles, we're not losing this game.
No.
We're not losing this game, and I'm telling you from the bench, I have no effect. I can't play, but we ain't losing. And when you have your best player that bought in and invested, there's
no chance to go
Brandon
into the game.
Murray. What does that look like for Brandon Murray? A true freshman who feels like he's been here for a decade. But as a true freshman, to see a guy like Eason, who at this point feels like, along with Walker Kessler, as the 2 best transfers in the country.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, like, find me 2 players that have more impact on their teams than Eason and Kessler does from a transfer standpoint up to this point. And it is scary to think about the what if of Adam Miller.
Yep.
I mean, it is scary.
That he may be the best transfer.
To
They just
think,
hadn't played
right.
yet.
It's scary to think about what Adam Miller would mean to this team. And I don't want to play an evil game of what if after a really great win for LSU basketball last night that moves them to 15-1 on the season and 3-1 in SEC play. I mean, it's just been an incredible start to this year. And at the halfway point, you look up and get a player back in Sharif O'Neal, and what he can do to the second half of this season is scary to think about for LSU. I mean, they look like they are built for March. Not just their chemistry, not just their best player leading the timeouts and, you know, tightening up the huddles with 6 minutes left as he's fouled out last night, speaking about Tari Eason, but just the way that they are developing guys. I mean, Justice Williams gave you more positive minutes last night.
Yep.
You know, I mean, we don't even talk about guys like that are getting in there and getting experience that is building up confidence and game for postseason, March, SEC tournament, for NCAA action. And like I said, this morning, I feel different about LSU basketball than I did when I went to when I woke up yesterday.
Well, people are they're screaming it now. Like, hey, this is
for real.
Yeah, like you heard Jimmy Dykes at the beginning of the game talk about how the SEC is the best basketball conference, and they have 2 bona fide Final Four teams, and he mentioned Auburn and Kentucky. And then as the game progressed and it got towards the end of the game, he was like, man, I think LSU may be a Final Four team. Same thing with the guys at halftime after the game. Like the guys that were in the studio analyzing it, like, hey, can LSU be a team that turns the ball over 20 times and be a Final Four team because of their defense? Yeah, I think so. And you cut down the turnovers, like it's over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you don't need they've proven you don't need to be able to you just need to be able to shoot enough from the 3-point line. You don't have to be a dominant 3-point shooting team. And I mean, it's exciting to watch. So you just feel the energy. It's just like it. The defense and the way people talk about LSU basketball, it's like this. The team just took that persona and they're running with that.
Shot 50% from the field last night. Outscored Florida in the paint 42-26.
Golly.
Did it without Pinson Efton Reed on the bench in foul trouble all night, fouls out of the game with 7 minutes, and then their best player, Tari Eason, gets ejected out of the game due to fouls at the 14-minute mark of the second half. And, look, we can sit here and bang on the officiating. It's poor. It's bad.
Stinks.
You can't count on it. You can never depend on it. You can never count on it. You can never expect it to be any good. And Wade's comments last night, if you haven't heard them, are vintage, classic Willie Wade. I mean, he talks about how he doesn't waste his time filling out the grade performance sheets from the officials. He doesn't go back and forth with the director of the officials from the Southeastern Conference because it's nothing but a waste of his time. You're never going to get any type of positive feedback, and you're never going to see any change on the floor. It's always going to be bad. Just budget for bad when you're talking about officiating. And last night was one of the poorest performances from the Stripes that you'll ever see. I mean, 21-10 is the foul differential last night. LSU's best player is ejected out of the game because he's fouled out with 14 minutes left in the second half on a BS call. So, look, it's not going to get any better. We can dance around it with Wade, but as he said last night, he doesn't even get into it. He doesn't even let it affect him. He can't because if you do, it'll drive you mad. Yeah. It'll drive you crazy. It'll be the Ed Ogeron meme where he's pulling his hair out at the practice field. I mean, it's just you can't – you're never going to be able to get anywhere with that. So was the officiating bad? Yeah, it sucked, and it's probably going to be even bad again on Saturday versus Arkansas. So but one thing that LSU did is that they overcame all of it. They overcame the officials. They overcame the players being injured in Pinson. They overcame two of their best players fouling out in Efton and Eason. And they overcame Sharif O'Neal coming in there after not playing at all season and being ready to play. I mean, that is a program-defining win for LSU basketball last night.
You know what was encouraging, too, is we're on the road in an environment that you haven't played well, and we got off to a fast start. We don't ever get off to fast starts. One, we don't really do that often, especially on the road. And so you get off, obviously the tip was a, easy bunny for days, but I mean they came out the gates hot.
Yeah.
Making shots, making good decisions, and that goes a long way to easing into the rhythm of the game. Absolutely. On the road.
Yeah.
So that's fun to see. Is like, hey, you know what? This team's growing and they're getting better and it's exciting.
Don't forget about your local reliable legal team. Speaking about Mulhan Law Firm, get in touch with them if you need any type of representation around personal injury, business organizations, wills and trust, succession and probate, family law, and entertainment law. We have used Mulhan Law as we grow over here at FM Digital. We told you about Mikey's show, Mic'd Up, launching on Monday. We've got more shows in the hopper that will be developing, and Mulhan Law Firm has been very helpful on all of that. Get in touch with all of them over there, whether it's Roy Mulhan, Josh Roy, or Namisha Patel, our friend over there. Get in touch with Mulhan Law Firm at mulhanlawfirmla.com, or the phone number, very easy, 225-926-8533. 50 years of combined legal experience with a wide range of services offered over there and very much client-oriented at Mulhan Law Firm. MulhanLawFirmLA.com is where you find them. 926-8533 in the Baton Rouge area. 225 is the area code if you're looking to get in touch with them from outside of the area. But if you've been hurt in an accident, if you need help with any type of family matters, if you are in the entertainment world and need help with intellectual property, get in touch with Mulhan Law Firm. They've got great experience with all of that. Will Wade next here. Boot up on the Jordy Culotta Show, brought to you by Go Chevrolet every day. Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. Taking away a win for the number 12 LSU team as they come home versus Arkansas on Saturday. We welcome in Will Wade to the conversation here on this Thursday morning, brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Coach, good morning. Boot up.
Good morning. How we doing?
Doing great. Not as good as you are. We have said that last night was a program-defining win for your squad. How did you look at what you accomplished last night, going in there undermanned, getting credit and input from new players who you haven't seen all season to winning that game 64-58? What do you take away from it?
Well, I mean, look, we knew we have a good team. We know we've got good players. We got a lot of guys who can step up, and we certainly needed some guys to step up last night. Darius Days, was just tremendous, playing back in front of all his family and playing back at home. I mean, he was absolutely awesome. Eric Gaines did some really, really good things down the stretch. It was one of his better games for us. I mean, two of his turnovers were travels that were they were travels that I can forgive. I guess that'd be the nicest way to put it.
Right.
But it was a really, really good win. Sharif hadn't played since February of last year.
Wow.
And he rolls in there and looks like he's been playing all year. Yeah. And give him credit now. I mean, he's worked hard to get back. Our staff's worked hard with him. He was in there Sunday. He got 2 workouts in on Sunday. I mean, he's wanted to be a part of this and wanted his opportunity, and he took great advantage of his opportunity. And we had to play guys a lot of minutes. We had some Warriors now, Brandon Murray and Wani. Those guys had to play a ton of minutes. We looked like last year having to play those guys so many minutes. Gaines played a ton of minutes. Days played a ton of minutes. And so, we just found a way to get it done. And we always talk about the more difficult the circumstance, the better work we've got to do. And I thought we did that last night in a tough environment against a very desperate team. I mean, those guys had to have that win. And they were ready to go. They were desperate. You could tell in their warm-up they were ready and some of the pregame stuff. And so give our guys a ton of credit.
Scary to think about the experience that Brandon Murray and Alex Fudge and some of these guys are building in moments like last night where they make impacts on the game and you get those huge road wins like last night. Take me to some of your conversations with Sharif. I know that you mentioned a phone call last night in the postgame where you told him stay ready to be ready. And he was. Just what that moment was like for him, and what does he do for your team? I said that I wake up this morning feeling different about the LSU basketball team than I did yesterday morning because Sharif looks like he just gives you a little bit more juice.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've got a lot of valuable experience with Sharif, like you talked about. We talked, and he worked out hard Sunday. I was in there Sunday morning, and I was watching him work out. He looked great. And he's looked really, really good in practice. We just haven't really wanted to mess with anything because we've been winning. I told him, I said, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Like, just stay ready and your time's going to come. And obviously it came on Wednesday. It came pretty quick after the text. But, I mean, look, we're going to be so much better off this year down the road just for the experience these guys are getting. I mean, for Eric Gaines, listen now, 2 weeks ago, I mean, let's be real. He was shook on the road at Auburn, and for him in 2 weeks to flip this around and turn it around and look that, he played with poise. He made huge shots down the stretch. For him to be able to flip that switch in 2 weeks, is unbelievably impressive, and he's just going to keep getting better. I think now that he's gotten a taste of playing a little bit more discipline, preparing the right way, doing everything right in preparation. I think now he's gonna continue to take off. Like you said, Alex Fudge is tremendous talent, and the more and more he plays, the better and better he's going to get. And so I'm very, very proud of him. But what Sharif did last night was incredible.
Yeah. You mentioned also that you have not spent that much time with point guards in preparation like you did in Gaines and Justice Williams in the time you spent with them and preparing for last night's matchup. What was that time like? What were those conversations like? Because both those guys looked really ready for the moment.
Well, look, we watched a ton of film. We went through. I gave them my play card. I said, "Look, is anything on this thing you don't like, you let me know." We drew things up. We went through everything. We went through different options. They did a phenomenal job playing against the ice on the ball screen. That's not an easy way to play. They stepped through the trap. That's how Days hit his first three on a short roll to Afton. And then we got it to the second side, and they did a phenomenal job. We did turn the ball over against that press one time. Now we knew they were going to crank it up. We had to put in 2 new press offenses, one with Tari in, which he only played 7 minutes, so that one didn't work very well. And then we had a different one when we had Tari out of the game, because we wanted to get the ball to Tari and let him kind of bring it up the court in the middle, because when he gets ahead of steam in the middle of the court. Then we had a different one with those guys. I mean, we didn't turn it over against the press, which was huge because we knew they were going to crank up the press, and we handled it really, really well early. And handling it well early, Coach White just pulled it off. So we spent 10 minutes in shoot around just working on press offense, which we hardly ever do. And we spent the day before in practice, we probably spent 25 minutes working on press offense and just making sure we could get the ball safely over half court and then set up and do what we do. And so I thought our offense in the first half, when we scored 38 points in the first half, our offense was rolling in the second half. We were really moving the ball. We did a great job. We took two mid-range jump shots that were very, very tough shots, not great shots. But in the second half, we just had so many funky lineups in there. There wasn't a whole lot we could do. But I thought our shot distribution was great going to the rim. We only took 9 threes on, I believe, 57 shots. So we really pounded that paint, which is what we wanted to do, score 42 of our 44 of our 62 in the paint. And so that's what good teams do.
Yeah, you outscored them 44-26 in the paint. You mentioned the 9 3-pointers that you shot last night. Is there a number? Is that kind of like how you want to play when you look at those numbers? Is there a goal that you go into a game with and you come out and say that's about as good as we can play?
Well, I mean, look, they were 242nd in the country in rim protection, so we wanted to get to the rim. I mean, we emphasized that for 2 days, and we had stuff. I mean, we were just relentless on assaulting the paint, getting to the rim. And our guys understood what we needed to do there, and I thought they did a nice job of executing and carrying out the plan on that. And so, it just so happened we only took 9 threes. We could have taken a few more if we'd have moved a little bit better when we sat down off 2 feet in there, and we could have kicked it out for some open ones. But the ones we took, for the most part, were good ones. And Gaines banked the one in, and Murray missed the one. Murray probably should have made his, and Gaines banked his, and that's just the way it works sometimes. But overall, look, we ran good offense. I mean, scoring 44 points in the paint, that's sustainable. That's something you can do almost every night and be a good offensive team. We left a lot of points at the free throw line. We gotta get a little bit tougher down there and finish through some contacts. We can draw some fouls, and if we do that, I think we could run that number up over 50.
I saw something different from Tari last night. I mean, he's shown physically that he's probably the best transfer in the country, along with Kessler, but on the floor. But after he fouled out last night, the way he impacted that game was pretty cool to see from just watching on television. I can't imagine how that translated to the head coach on the bench.
He was incredible. He took over one of the timeouts at the 6-minute mark. He's like, "Coach, can I talk to him?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I can't." What he said's not suitable for radio. But
so we're not on radio. You can say it. You can say whatever you want.
Bring us in the huddle.
Not suitable for a show, but
the gold standard. I
mean, he was awesome. I mean, he was awesome, and then he was so fired up after the game. He was fired up on the bench, and that's what you want. We needed some other guys to step up, but we had some guys step up, and he did what he had to do for our team last night, which was to rally him and help him, and he sat down there with Axe, and they were coaching the guards and helping Sharif and helping those guys out. So it's really good to see.
You expect X on Saturday, and what's Arkansas present to you on a quick turnaround?
Well, X is going to run today and work out a little bit today, so we'll have a better idea after today. But we certainly got a shot of him playing on Saturday for sure. But he's going to run today, this morning actually, and then we're going to put him through a shooting workout this afternoon and kind of see what it looks like. But he was certainly moving. I'm no doctor or athletic trainer, but just watching him walk, he was moving and running and jogging. I mean, he's been much better. And, look, Arkansas is good. They're better than their record in the league. They've had some close losses. Note's an unbelievable scorer. Can get it any way. Tony, the transfer from Pittsburgh, he's really good player. Can make threes, drive it, slash it. He's relentless on the offensive glass. The transfer from South Dakota has been playing very well for him. Slikes from Miami's been playing well. So they got a really good team. They'll be well coached with Coach Moss, and be a big challenge for us on Saturday in the PMAC. But we're excited to be back home, and hopefully we can have another great crowd.
You mentioned that you're not a trainer and you're not a doctor. You might have the best one on the planet in Sean Eddy. What does he mean to your program and what you guys do and accomplish every day?
He's going to be mad you mentioned him.
I know he is.
He's the absolute best. I mean, he's just rock solid. He's been here 25 plus years, and he's become a real, just a great friend of mine and confidant. And I've got a meeting with him actually at 9 this morning with some of our other support staff, and he's the best. The kids love him. He works so hard. He's run up and down the plane last night, hooking X up to machines on the plane ride back last night. He's just all in. He loves LSU. He loves our basketball program. He loves our players. He loves our guys. He's unbelievable at his job. He's in there all day, every day. If I'm the first person to arrive, he's the second person to arrive every morning.
Wow.
And he's all in on our basketball program and for our players. He just does a phenomenal job. And it's been tough on him, man, with all the COVID. I mean, he's been in charge of COVID. He's been in charge of all this stuff. And he's just got such a calming way about him. And he's the same every day. And he's an awesome guy.
Boot the bleep up. Salute to you, the General. 15-1. We'll see you on Saturday versus Arkansas.
Thanks, guys. See you Saturday. Boot up.
Yes, sir. There he is, Willie Wade, checking in this morning after a great win for his program last night on the road in Gainesville. Wanted to mention Sean Eddy there, as Matuk mentioned it. His time at LSU, Eddy was there. I was around the 2004, 5, and 6 LSU basketball teams. He was instrumental in all the success of those teams, and you hear the impact that he's had on Will Wade in the 5 years that Wade's been on campus and the relationship that they have forged, not only from a business standpoint between head coach and trainer, but just friends. Eddy's as good as they make him, man. And as he said, dude loves LSU, loves the place. So salute to Eddy and to the General. 15-1 LSU basketball as they take on Arkansas, the Hogs, on Saturday. That conversation brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Every time the General shows up here to the Jordy Culotta Show, is brought to you by our friends Anthony Piazza and Phil's Oyster Bar. Check them out, as we will be in there for lunch tomorrow. They've got great lunch specials and has been in the community for a long time. South Downs Shopping Center on Perkins Road, in between Acadian and College, is where you can find them. Phil's Oyster Bar, a great spot for pregame, in-game, postgame for LSU sports. Check them out, South Downs Shopping Center. We'll reset and be right back here. We've got Shea Dixon coming up at 8 o'clock. We'll talk LSU football, staff turnover, transfer portal, recruiting, all of that right now buzzing around LSU football. What's the impact that Frank Wilson's been able to have? Noah Cain goes into the transfer portal last night from Penn State. Cain is a Louisiana native, a South Louisiana native,
Come on
a
home,
Baton
baby.
Rouge native.
What?
You put Noah Cain into the running back room alongside John Emery and Corey Kiner. I think you've got an NFL back. You've got an NFL room.
You rebuilt a running
I mean,
back room that
quick.
was
Overnight.
Just
desperate.
overnight.
You rebuilt your running back room and your offensive line room overnight,
And you got a quarterback.
and now you got a quarterback.
We'll talk to Shea Dixon about Noah Cain. How viable is that for LSU football coming up at 8 a.m.? If you've got a question for Dixon. Hashtag Ask Shea, and we will ask the recruiting analyst expert coming up here in 15 minutes on the Jordy Culotta Show. Give us a minute to reset, fill back up our water from True Blue, and we'll be right back on the show here, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
And we got some LSU women's basketball tickets to give away.
We do.
Ooh,
absolutely.
Nice.
Did we
also rolling?
Did we do the challenge last night, or are we going to do that this morning?
We're going to do it. Yeah, we're going to come up with maybe, I don't know, we'll do a little something in the chat, and we'll pick 5, and then we'll let you know.
All right, hold tight. We'll be back.
Now, what we're going to do, I don't know. But that's for us to decide. We'll figure it out.
Do you have questions about your finances? Are you looking for recommendations from a skilled financial advisor? Get in touch with our friend Daniel Newman over at Edward Jones. You can find him easily by logging online and shooting him an email at daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. That is daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Whether it is help with your 401k or just fiscal advice heading into the new season, get in touch with Daniel today. Best way to do it? Email him, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. He's our experienced financial advisor. Let him be yours, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Hebert's Specialty Meats, home to the finest boudin in South Louisiana. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Hebert over at Hebert's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Hebert's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Shout out to Nikki Richard and the crew over at Go. Go Express Auto Sales out there on Florida Boulevard near Sherwood Forest. Stop in and see them, or if you're out in LaPlace. Brand new car selection out there with Go Chevrolet. Everything online, GEAUXChevrolet.com. GEAUXChevrolet.com. Appreciate them taking care of us, as always. Good stuff from Will Wade there the day after they beat Florida in Gainesville, and a little bit of insight into his program. There was so much to get to. I didn't ask him about Brandon Murray, but we did talk about some of the minutes that this is doing for his team and what it's building going down the stretch here. And I don't know if that can be quantified. I don't know if you can really calculate how much that really means. I mean, how much playing as a freshman for you set you up for Omaha? I mean, you might have had your biggest moment ever. In Omaha, your freshman season.
No doubt.
But how did you get ready for that moment, right? I mean, like, that just doesn't – you didn't roll out of bed that day versus Florida State and say, I'm going to be the hero today.
Texas. Texas. But you know, you're right, because –
feeling dangerous.
When you as a freshman, when you come in there, like, you obviously know you're good enough. So sometimes you know you're good enough. Sometimes you don't. You need that confidence. You need to get some playing time. Yeah, underneath your belt. Like, you've had – but the more time, the more opportunity you get in those moments, the more opportunity you have time to fail or, you know, get through these situations where you're like, man, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here, and, like, kind of figure it out on the fly. The more confident you are. And by the time you get mid-season in the SEC, it's like you're no longer, you know, you're not a freshman anymore. You know what I mean? So, like, for me, when I didn't start the beginning of the season, I barely played, and then I didn't play at all until the third weekend of the SEC. I got a spot start against Harvard, and we had a two-game midweek series against Harvard, and we beat them like 4-3 in the first game, and it was like a lackadaisical whatever. And Maneri was like, "Hey, we're going to play guys that want to play. You know, that, trying to make a point to the veterans.
Yeah.
He calls me. He's like, hey, you're starting tomorrow in right field. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay. Hey, Mom, I know you weren't supposed to be coming to the game today, but like,
change of plans.
You probably should drive back to Baton Rouge. I'm playing.
Let me finish
Show
this
up,
one beer.
And I hit 2 homers that game.
Come on.
So then I don't come.
It's over.
So then I play on Saturday.
It wasn't
Play the
right.
kid.
I play on Saturday, dude, and I'm like,
Molly.
and I'm sitting, and I'm telling myself, all right, because we're playing Drew Pomerantz, supposed to be a top 5 pick in the draft, played in the big leagues, awesome, and he's their ace at Ole Miss. I'm like, all right, just gotta just do something to help us win. Doesn't have to go 4 for 4, whatever. I go 1 for 4.
We'll take it.
Take it. Saturday in the lineup again. I go 1 for 4. Sunday I'm in the lineup. It's the bottom of the 8th inning. We're down 1-0. The guy throws nothing but cutters and sliders. I'm in the lineup. I'm 0 for 3 or 0 for 2 at the time. 0-2 looked terrible. Base hit to right field. Scored. Jared Mitchell's tie the game. Steal second. Next batter gets an RBI. I score. We win 2-1.
Staying in the line.
And so, like, getting in there and having opportunity
Reps.
to have those moments, even if I failed in that
Give me
moment,
a chance, man.
even if I failed there and did not come through, I have that experience underneath me and know what it's going to feel like. So it's a huge situation. It's a huge thing
bro,
to do.
How do you feel like? How do you think Sharif feels waking
I
up
was
this
thinking
morning?
the same thing.
I mean, you think he's probably
Oh,
15
dude. He
minutes
didn't-
early for his first class?
I'll tell you what, he didn't sleep.
Post-
Are they in
Quarterly
class?
He didn't go to-
They're
he didn't
back in
get-
class. He's probably walking around campus looking for everybody.
It took him a long time to go to sleep last night. I can tell you that.
He was juiced, bro.
He was ready to go. He was
Juiced.
fired up. You don't go to sleep.
You
after
don't even
that.
remember the plane ride
No.
home. You know what I mean? Like you're still so amped up last night, and you saw him tweeting. He looks great in 24.
Yeah, he does.
Pro move, too.
Yeah, Colton
Savvy
Mack with the
separately.
$5 super chat. We appreciate that. Andrew Messina, hashtag Ask Mikey.
Where were you yesterday, dude?
Who?
Andrew Messina. We'd put Ask Mikey all over the screen and didn't get anything.
What was your favorite bat that you used at LSU? The blue and orange stealth composite they used was lethal.
Yeah, that was a great. They didn't have that when I got there though. So like the next year
that's
that
when
bat
they
was like
changed.
whatever. So
Illegal?
then no. So my freshman year you could use a composite. I never used a composite because whenever it would go doom.
It sounded dead.
Yeah, it did.
That's when it would get live. But
Yeah.
I thought that was when it died. So I was like, no, I'm just gonna use a normal metal bat. Yeah, I want the
Yeah,
ping.
right.
That
Use
gold
that.
Omaha.
Then they
Yeah,
took them.
dude.
Then they
Oof.
took the composites out for
Red
my
line.
sophomore year. And then this junior year they made the new. It was like the rule of the new.
BB core.
Right, which now they're a million times better than they were with us. They were terrible. We only hit 30 home runs as a team
Yeah.
my junior year.
You
I
had 14?
Yes.
Something's
Should have
gotta-
been 15. I got robbed on a homer. Hit the ball off the hitter's eye and over here, and they said hit the wall, but it went behind.
At home?
Yeah, I got a triple instead of a homer.
Sheesh.
Bullshit.
You were hustling then. Oh, because then
Oh,
it
I was
bounced
big-
back into.
Yeah, but I'm a big triple. I was a big triples guy. Had a bunch of triples. Had like probably
Triples
four,
play, coach.
4 or 5 a year.
Triples,
More,
one of the,
more exciting than a home run.
triple
I
to
love-
me is one of the best highlights in sports.
Well, nowadays all
A head first
no doubt.
slide triple.
You don't
Throws
remember
it.
Jared Mitchell's? in
Yeah,
Omaha?
yes, absolutely.
up and
And when he
smoothest-
when he stands
Yeah,
up
he's
and gives the
beat
fist,
his
I mean, you're
chest,
like,
yeah.
oh my god,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
winning.
Yes,
You know
no
what I mean?
I wanna play
doubt.
baseball.
Yes.
No doubt. I mean, that was
Jared
a huge
Mitchell had
moment.
some of the finest highlights ever.
That was a
in
huge
baseball.
moment. That was a lefty submarine guy that never got hit.
I mean, that
in
home
jail.
run he hit against Rice, was it Rice?
It was Texas.
No, in the final game at Alec Box, at the old box.
Oh no, wait, it was Irvine.
Did you see Irvine?
Irvine.
Yeah.
Coach, I mean,
Yeah, he's still got some
Electric.
sauce. But that happened, and then so. But I mean, my favorite bat. I mean, we only used Easton when I
Yeah.
was there, so like I don't. But yeah, the black that one that he's talking about was special. I used that my senior year in high school.
best bat ever has got to be the gold Todd Walker, right? The gold,
what is it?
Easton that he used to. Him and Rush Johnson used to swing.
I don't know.
Eddie
I don't-
Furness.
I don't know. But dude, back in the '90s,
Those things
they were using
those were
drop
swords,
fives.
guys. I
dude.
mean,
Bigger barrels, drop 5. That means you can use a 34-inch bat with a 29 ounces.
really, it was like Cressy and them, right? That were swinging like the.
Toothpicks.
I mean,
Yeah.
but that were just bombs.
I mean, bombing,
They were launch balls.
bombing balls,
Launch
dude.
balls.
Omaha, the gold Omaha is like the first bat that I remember. The red line was borderline illegal. Like that's when we were coming up, and then stealth got real into the game. But there's some bats out there that when you see, you're like, that thing can go a mile.
Yeah.
Todd Walker's Gold Easton should be
wanna look it
in
up.
Cooperstown. I mean, like
Frank
it
did
was, it was just. I mean, it was like part of his lore.
He
used to play the Batman theme song when he came up.
Good,
dude.
he was such a good hitter.
He would stop everything at the box when we were kids.
Yeah.
Like when we were kids, my grandfather, we used to go to the box. I'm telling you, I still can smell the grass at the, like almost like if you can like take me back to that.
Well, that's
those
the one
moments.
thing about baseball is like the smells of baseball. That's
and I remember
the
the first time my grandfather came and checked me out of school. First regional that LSU hosted, and I mean I couldn't have been 9, 10. I was probably Jay's age.
Yeah,
and never seeing a you would get there and you would just be scattered with all these kids. And it got to a point with Todd Walker when we were young where he would stop the box. It didn't matter where you were. When you heard the Batman theme song and him walking up.
God, that's such a swaggy
and you could hear
walkout.
It was such way. It was so and then you know it kind of and then like they would announce him, like everybody you would stop and he was that dude, man.
Yeah,
he was that dude.
His average,
he was
his
that
career
dude.
average at LSU was 390. That's his career average.
Did he hit 400 as a freshman?
I think he hit 400
as a freshman. Because his freshman year was his best year.
Mm-hmm. But 390 as a career average, like that's stupid.
It was
stupid.
There it is, bro.
Watch out.
He's a good dude, man. I was too young to know him I watched him in the big leagues, but I was too young to like remember those moments when he was at LSU. Like I was.
Right.
I mean, when he was there, early 90s, right? 92.
He was 92, 93, 94.
And I was 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they won it in 93 with him. But his 92 season, his freshman year, he was. I mean, all 3 years he was great. But I mean, like that was the one. It was like Chris Jackson. Like you remember Chris Jackson, but his freshman season, he averaged 30. You know what I mean? It was different. Remember, Daily, we're brought to you by Johnson & Spillers, our dentist over here at the Jordy Culotta Show, johnsonspillers.com. I owe them an appointment. I got out of a cleaning appointment the other day. They're trying to track me down. They've left me voicemails there.
You got cleaning and you got to get your tooth repaired?
Yeah, bro. It's bad right now. I'm going through a
total
teeth overhaul,
what that mouth
dude.
did.
Yeah, it was 38 years of heartache that are now coming down to the last 2 of this reconstruction. Johnson & Spillers. Nobody I trust more. johnsonspillers.com.
Nobody trusts more, but want to see less.
That's exactly right. Shea Dixon coming up here. I see some of your questions. We will ask him about Jacoby Matthews. We will ask him about some of this recruits that LSU can close in on in February, but it looks like the Tigers right now are doing some work in the transfer portal. How good of an evaluator?
Uncle Al.
Did you see that about HP?
Uncle Al.
Back in the
I did. We didn't sign anything yet.
Don't you worry. I'll still got the paper in the hand, dude.
Uncle Al.
Give me that letter of intent.
But LSU is the transfer portal.
Yeah.
How good of an evaluator is Billy Napier?
Dude,
you see all these UL guys going into the portal and how much offers and how much attention they're getting?
It's unbelievable. He brings them in. They aren't highly touted, obviously, because if they're more highly touted, they'd go somewhere bigger.
They're not going to be at LSU.
They go to LSU. He develops them. They get not only are he getting guys to the NFL, he's getting guys to go to UL that now you look back, they probably have 4 guys that have transferred out. One is the running back. Who's probably, I think he transferred to Florida.
Stud. Yeah, he went to Florida.
He's going to Florida. We got a defensive back. Yeah. Offensive lineman transferred to Florida, I think, and then there's another guy that's just
another offensive tackle.
It may come to LSU. Like that's impressive, man.
Don't they have a wide receiver in the portal too that LSU was closing in on? So I mean,
they
were stacked.
Yeah, they were stacked, bro. Calvin Dudley with a super chat for the 5th grade basketball scouting fund. We appreciate that, Calvin. We can never.
Might not need it.
We do need that. That is a slush fund that is never enough. So we appreciate that, Calvin. Another big win for the Blue Jays last night. Keeps them undefeated, rolling into more conference play this weekend. We'll keep you updated on that. Shea Dixon coming up here next. We are driven and powered by Ghost Chevrolet. We will reset and be right back with you right here on the Jordy Culotta Show.
Mikey, who did you, when you were younger, did y'all have like a guy on the team that always had like bought the bats? Like the guy that always had the new bat?
Yeah, Ronnie.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was like, that was like my Christmas present. My Christmas presents consisted of baseball stuff.
Yeah.
That was like my Christmas gear. Like when I'd get my bat or whatever, like it was Christmas. That was my Christmas present.
Did you let other people use it?
No.
Like when you were that was only your.
Yeah, only my bat. No way, you didn't, bro.
Well, hey, but you got we want
that
the
bat's
team to
gotta
win.
last. That bat's gotta last.
That's way different.
What
No,
do you
it's
mean?
not. I don't know. No, I mean I would let somebody play with
That bat, but that
maybe.
bat's gotta last.
If you know
me,
what you're doing.
When I'm in high school, that bat has to last me through the baseball season. of like if I'm older.
Wait, so your teams didn't buy your bats in high school?
No.
Golly. I was struggling over
I mean,
at STM.
I don't think so.
I think they did, dude. Menard got bats.
Maybe they had bats, but like most people had their own bats, I think.
That was like
most guys have played travel ball.
You good?
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
what I was thinking. Like 11 and 12 years old.
Like I don't like those bats have to be.
You got to make it through the season. I'm
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
Did you see your,
All right,
your picture?
let's reset.
Yep. Reset.
Heading into the new season, get in touch with Daniel today. Best way to do it, email him, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. He's our experienced financial advisor. Let him be yours, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU bluewater.com.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Welcome back here to a Thursday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show. We'll talk to Ben Baby from ESPN.com at 8:30 this morning. He covers the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals looking for their first playoff win since 1991, the day that Bo Jackson dislocated his hip.
Before the text
Los
message was
Angeles
invented,
Coliseum.
I heard on Levitard that
Wow.
you couldn't even text somebody that the Bengals were in the playoffs in 91.
Could you
That's
email
weird.
anybody?
When did text become a thing?
I think 92.
No,
So
No
they had
way.
earlier.
No,
I think that's what he
that's too
said.
early.
That's what he. I'm just
Way
relaying
too early.
information.
There was no
Yeah,
text
Relaying.
message.
I'm
When
shooting
did
the
these
messenger
be?
on this.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're
that's
dead wrong, dude.
ridiculous.
Get out of here with that bullshit.
You idiot.
That is dumb.
If you can tell
are
me,
stupid.
If you can tell me when text messaging was invented, you can get those 2 tickets to the
That's
There you
basketball
go.
game.
great. That's
There
a
you
great
go.
There you
idea.
go.
Now,
I gave you the answer. It was
it's
1992.
not. No, it's not. He's trying to lead you down a path. Make sure you find the right answer on that. Shea Dixon's got great information around LSU football, around recruiting, and LSU is in the conversation right now in the transfer portal. Recruits out there. There's a lot to get to with Shea this morning here on the Jordy Culotta Show as we are driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Shea, good morning, buddy. How are you?
Morning. I was thinking about that yesterday. Joe Burrow wasn't even alive.
Wow.
The last time the Bengals won a playoff game.
Yeah,
That you can
weird.
prove.
I was barely alive.
You're
2 years.
barely.
I was a year and a half old, 2 years old.
Man. Shay, think about what he's accomplished in just a year and a half in an organization that has not won a playoff game since 91. I mean, how cool is it right now to be a Cincinnati fan?
I mean, he's completely changed. You'd have to imagine as a Bengals fan, too, they're going into this one with expectations of, oh, we should win. We're the higher seed. We're at home. We won the North. We should win. 2 years ago, they were the worst team picking number one for a reason. They won 4 games. They couldn't make it to the playoffs. It's unbelievable. I saw a stat yesterday. Someone tweeted out. I can't remember who it was, but it was like Joe Burrow in must-win games. And I was like, this dude must have never talked to Joe Burrow before because his record in must-win games is however many football games he's played in his life. I don't know if he's ever considered something not to be must-win.
That's right. All right, Shay.
Northwestern State was must win.
The time period for LSU right now and what they've been experiencing the last couple of weeks is somebody who is followed and covered this program as long as you have. What has this time period been like? Is there anything that you can compare it to?
Well, I mean, no, not that we've experienced, at least on the LSU side of things, in terms of just wholesale change and then having to completely replace a staff and almost completely replace, an entire football ops building. And then, so much there goes on that we don't even see. And then publicly what we see is guys entering the portal, guys entering the draft, guys staying, you're adding new guys in the portal each day. They've been having visitors on campus now who are transfer portal guys almost every day, probably from the middle of the week to through the weekend. So busy stretch. I mean, if we go through all that, and I haven't even named a high school kid yet. That's what we're used to. It's just normal high school recruiting, and we haven't gotten a ton of that here lately. So it's an interesting stretch to just watch, and I'm curious to see how they reshape the roster. And I can promise you this, and I'm sure if you talk to Brian Kelly, he would say the same. No matter what they do out there, they can sign 32 guys. Go for it. And you're going to load up. They can sign 15 more guys if you want to. You can't snap your fingers and fix the roster for next year. Like I'm just not in that boat. I don't think that they can have the most competitive team that they want this next year because I just don't think the roster's built that way yet. Now, let him get his hands on things. I think that they have a really nice core of really young guys on the team that could be leaders for you, that you can lean on and rely on. But I just think total program-wise, if I'm Brian Kelly, my goal is to just win one more game than they won this year, which would be let me win 7 or 8 games, but I'll promise you things behind the scenes won't be as bad. We'll be moving in the right direction. I'm not in the boat that's saying, oh, man, they're going to go out there and load up on all these guys and win double-digit games next year. I'm not there.
Noah Kane entered the transfer portal yesterday. He is a South Louisiana native who's up at Penn State. He spent his senior season at IMG Academy. This feels like Frank Wilson, right? I mean, if he goes anywhere, how much of a shot does LSU have?
I think for the reason you said is why I'd put LSU in it. Like before, I would say, okay, well, look, they've got John Emery coming back. You've got Goodwin and Kiner. You've got Trey Bradford still in the roster. You potentially could be Simon Citizen here out of Lake Charles. But with Frank's involvement, Frank now being on staff, I think that I look very quickly at LSU. I look very quickly at, he had spent some time in Texas at the Texas schools. Maybe the Longhorns get involved. But for sure, I think that he's a name, probably the first transfer portal running back name that we've looked at and said, whoa, look, that's a name all of us are very familiar with. And from talking to people and kind of getting a feel from them what their plans are there, I fully expect them to be pushing for him.
A lot of people curious about Jacoby Matthews and what this next couple of weeks is going to be like for the 5-star safety out of Ponchatoula. How do you see this thing closing up?
Well, it's going to take it all the way to signing day in February. So they've got a few more weeks. You've got in-home visits you're making. They'll be over at Ponchatoula High a bunch next week when things open back up, or each week, I should say. A&M has been a big team that's been in the mix. Texas has been in the mix a bunch. Florida, I think, is trying to crawl back into things with Billy Napier's staff. But I would just keep going back to LSU. And I think that a lot of these hires, Jordy, that LSU's made off the field, meaning like not the 10 on-field coaches. So a lot in the recruiting department, guys they've retained. I think a lot of that's going to help them out with guys like Jacoby Matthews. Lots of relationships there. I think they're figuring out the NIL sort of side of things with all these guys, right? Kind of as each week goes by, and I think by the time signing day arrives, they'll have figured out kind of what it takes to make that final pitch to Jacoby and keep him in state. So my crystal ball picks on LSU, and I probably feel a little bit better about it than I did a month ago when they were going through, finding a coach and hiring Brian Kelly, and we didn't know what his staff would look like moving forward in these final few weeks. We know exactly what the staff looks like. We know exactly kind of who signed early and who's left. I feel pretty good about Jacoby. My pick right now, I'd have it about a 7 confidence level that he picks LSU.
Nice. Devin Ewing and Neil DiBenedetto have questions for you concerning Georgia. Jalen Kimber, a corner from Georgia, is in the portal. Shea, does LSU have a shot on him? And then Neil asks, #AskShay, any word on Jermaine Burton, wide receiver, entering the transfer portal who was once committed to LSU? DiBenedetto said that there are rumors out there that he is unhappy.
Yeah, well, I'd say let's start there. I'd say the thing, too, and this is me speaking, so maybe I'm not going to speak for Brian Kelly, but it's my opinion on how he runs the program. Jermaine Burton was a guy who committed to LSU and then flipped on him on signing day and left him in a real bad spot. It was him and Raheem Jarrett. And y'all can remember that. They were like 2 pretty high-profile guys. Ultimately, they just get Keishawn Butte. Now, Butte's been way better than both of them, but they left him in the cold there for a minute. And from just kind of talking to people around Athens, I'm not so sure Burton would fit in with what Brian Kelly's trying to do here. And take it as you may. I think that's going to be a thing moving forward, and I think it has to be. I think a lot of this is what kind of guys you're bringing on the roster. How, quick are they going to say, okay, I'm not playing now, I'm leaving, and then I'm an APR hit for you, or I'm not going to school, and now I've got you into academic trouble. You can't have that moving forward. You just can't afford any missteps. So I think they're going to be smart about how they approach this. And in terms of receiver, Kyron Lacey out of UL is the guy they're really, really hard on. I think he's going to be on campus today, I believe, and he visited Auburn already. I know Florida's trying to get in the mix there, but boy, he'd be one I would take, and they've offered him instantly over guys like Burton. So I haven't heard a ton of Burton stuff yet, and I'd be surprised if I did. In terms of cornerback, look, they got Mekhi Garner out of UL this week. He was one of their commitments. Greg Brooks out of Arkansas, I think, will follow up Joe Fuchsia. He's a bit of a nickel, but Fuchsia plays safety. He plays nickel. Garner plays corner. I think they get all those guys. But you got to figure out, okay, we got to keep going after corners. I think that ultimately, look, Latrell McCutcheon out of OU went into the portal. He mentioned the Georgia guy. There's others that they've even offered. I don't think they've offered the Georgia prospect or the Georgia corner yet, but something to keep an eye on. I don't think they're done at corner yet, especially just look, Radarius Jones and Demarius McGee are the only guys on roster coming back at corner, and I've heard Radarius Jones might not even come back. So if you return just one guy and you sign two, and Welsh and Allen, you're going to have to load up on portal guys. So pretty much anyone out there that can still go and that's got some eligibility that can play corner, they're going to get off.
Trey Kirkland?
Shea, I have a question about the portal. So I know we've talked about being only able to sign 7 guys in the portal. Is it strictly to 7, or if you have the ability to sign more, you don't
25 plus 7?
Right, 25 plus 7, right? But what happens if you sign 20 guys? Can you sign more portal guys?
Yes. Okay. So
I guess this would be the best way.
Yeah, right. This would be the best way to put it. So right now they have 13 high school signees, 4 guys committed out of the portal. So that puts them around 17. You can get to 32. So let's say they've got 15 spots left. You can sign 15 transfers if you want to. You can sign 15 high school kids. You can sign 10 and 5. You can sign JUCO, whatever it might be. So these final 15 spots can be sliced up any way they want. If it's Jacoby Matthews and Citizen and Danny Lewis at Westgate and maybe 5 high school guys, well, then you're going to have 10, transfer portal spots, or maybe JUCO, I'd assume transfer portal, that you can still fill, and that's a lot. Consider you've already taken 4 or 5 transfer guys. And you think you can take as many as 10 more, maybe more than that if you don't get all the high school kids you're after and you're trying to fill this full class. So 32 players is a lot, especially adding to a team when you just rolled up to a bowl game with 39 players. So 32 is a good bit. I don't think it fixes the roster right away, but it can help out a lot.
Oh, real quick, do you think they signed 32 like that? They won't have any empty spots?
I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I think that's pressing. Even when they have just 25 spots to sign, they don't always do it. And I think another thing Lloyd will do, and I'm guessing here, but we saw Orgeron and others do it, and it's probably the smart thing, is you want to hold a few till the spring, because that's when Burrow went to the portal. That's when a lot of guys have gone in the past. They get through spring ball and they say, okay, look, I'm either not starting or I'm not where I want to be right now, or this ain't working out for me, whatever it might be. But it's not just this flurry of guys leaving, for the portal right when the season ends and boom, I'm out. A lot of that stuff happens in the offseason, happens during spring ball, whatever it might be. And if you don't have any scholarships left, you obviously can't get in the mix there. And you don't want some for sure starter popping up and you not even be able to, to put your coin down and enter the game. So, yeah, I'd imagine they'll get into the mid-20s and more of signees by the time February rolls through, and all these kids are trying to get on campus for the spring semester if you're a transfer. But those final few spots, I would guess they're going to hold just to see what kind of happens out there in the spring, whether it's March, April, May, or into the summer.
Do you remember the fresh-faced Joey B showing up to practice, the spring practices for the first time?
The long-haired,
very pale, a little chubby. Yes.
Midwestern.
Yeah,
Midwestern. Welcome to the South, Joey.
You're welcome.
Shay, we had Harold Perkins' uncle on. After that, Harold Perkins' mother left us a voicemail on the show phone, threatening us to take that clip down immediately. that the uncles had no idea and that they were just clout chasing. Harold Perkins announced that he was going to Texas A&M, but Uncle Al has spoken again, and it seems like LSU ain't dead here. What are we hearing on the latest on Harold Perkins? Maybe the best player in the entire recruiting cycle.
Oh, I read about this earlier this week. It is 100% not over there. And, Frank
Uncle Al.
It's, Frank Wilson's involved.
Frank.
All these different levels of coaches here are going to be pushing. You got to remember, though, the defensive coordinator, who's also the linebackers coach, is the one coach who's still in the NFL playoffs, right, in-house. So he doesn't get here till after that. You kind of have to watch for what you would imagine would happen unless the Chiefs make it all the way and win the Super Bowl. But that would be big and key. But I do know this, that charge until he's here will be led by Frank Wilson, and that means Frank going in home in Houston, Frank going in school, all these different things where we've seen it before. I mean, give him a month to work, and he's one of the best in the business. That is, especially when it comes to recruiting a New Orleans kid to come back home. So I think it'll be really interesting to see how that one unfolds.
What are you hearing on the latest of guys like coming back, guys like Joe Evans and Dante Starks? What's the latest on guys that have been here before that now it looks like may have opportunities to rejoin the program?
I don't have any intel there. I don't know. He hasn't played football in 2 years, and I don't even know what his academic standing is. So, I mean, maybe those guys can say, hey, look, I have a chance to come back, or maybe the staff comes back around on him. It would just surprise me if you're leaving for a violation of team rules. You haven't played football in now 2 years. I don't know where you stand academically. Maybe he's doing great. But that a new regime would then come in and say, hey, look, we need you to come back. It would just be surprising to me. But, look, they're low on roster numbers. I guess I shouldn't be surprised by any moves they make.
Do you expect the Cortez Hankton news to come down, Georgia's offensive passing game coordinator, as LSU is looking to fill one more spot on their 10-man on-the-field staff, and that would be the wide receivers position? It seems like he's the name, right?
Yep, 100%. I won't be surprised if it's announced today or tomorrow or whenever it might be. So that's exactly what I'm expecting. Wow. Done deal.
Wow. What is he like as a recruiter?
Well, pretty good. Obviously, you're going to expect to have New Orleans ties, and he's younger, so you like both those things. But one thing while at Georgia, and look, you said Van Pran, their big O-lineman who starts for him out of New Orleans. Obviously, he got him to commit, but he was like the secondary, meaning like the area recruiter on a lot of their guys in Texas, in East Texas, meaning Houston, Dallas, and I think LSU fans have been curious of, hey, who on LSU's current staff is going to be that guy? Just because, none of them had really direct ties to, I grew up in Houston and played at, some college in East Texas. We haven't seen that on any resumes, but I will say that Hankton's got, 3, 4, 5 years in him now, where he's really been kind of hard into the Houston area, into Dallas, and won't be surprised at all if they put him into that role when he gets to LSU.
You mentioned Danny Lewis, tight end from Westgate. He picked up the offer earlier this week. Do you expect him to commit, and what does he bring to the class?
This is a kid that was all district in baseball, football, and basketball. He's just a true athlete, and not a true burner, but boy, he's got strong hands, really solid tight end. Like, I think he's a guy in his first couple years of the program that you'll start to see on the field and can make a little bit of an impact for you. I do expect him to pick LSU. We've talked about this with Mikey on the show before. If there's one pocket of the state that's really good to LSU, it's the Acadiana area. He's a Westgate kid. So I fully expect him to end up at LSU. Florida's in the mix. I know he's picked up some other offers and he's about to make a string of visits here, but it looks like LSU will get the last visit, which is always what you want. And then I'd be surprised he didn't just shut things down even sooner and said, look, I'm going to LSU. He's got Butte over there. He's got a teammate for next year, and Derek Williams that's been really heavily recruited by LSU. He's buddies with a ton of the, Walker Howard and all those guys who are all from the Lafayette area in this class, with Terrence Welsh at Acadiana. So I'd be shocked at this point, and tossed in the fact that LSU doesn't have any tight ends. He comes and he's immediately number 1 or 2 on, Cole Taylor's the only other scholarship tight end that they brought in. They had to put in Jack Mashburn on the scholarship, and we'll see Mason Taylor, their one signee, get here this summer. So for him, he comes in and you do a little bit of competing, and suddenly you're in the 2 deep. You'll take that every day. I would think as a tight end, you're looking at LSU's situation and jumping all over it.
The latest on Trevante Citizen?
Nothing new there. He's going to make some visits this month, but he's not going to. And LSU will be one of them, but he's not going to do or say anything until February, and that's when we'll have a good grip on it. But again, that's a Frank Wilson special right there. He's the running back, top running back on the board. You don't have one committed. That's a no doubt kind of Frank guy over these next few weeks.
Did you see the video of Quincy Wiggins at the Army All-American game? How scary was that? And how do you see Wiggins fitting in this class? We had a watch party the other night during the national championship game, and Jaquelin Roy was over here watching and just talking about the look ahead of having Mason Smith, Quincy Wiggins, and Jaquelin Roy, along with B.J. Ojulari, on the same defensive line, but three of the last number one defensive tackles or number one defensive linemen in the state the last 3 years, all on the same line of scrimmage, is really cool to think about.
Yeah, and I know he would say this as well. He's very fortunate that he only broke his wrist on that. But yeah, stay off the scooters, kids and adults. Those things just don't seem very safe. But yeah, regardless, he's yes, that's true. He's as the big man, we're breaking it down for you, Jordy. There is no doubt he's a good one. Here's the thing you got to remember: he's only played football for 2 years, and before that, he was a basketball kid. He's been a basketball kid his whole life with Jeff Jones over at Madison Prep. That's kind of where he kind of was being molded into. Well, then they put him out on the football field as an 11th grader during the pandemic. So you're not even like practicing all the time. You're not even playing all your games. So this second year in 2021, this is, like I said, it's just his senior year. It's his second year playing football. He finally gets the full slate in, gets to kind of know what to expect, and then goes out to the All-American Bowl. He showed up that week, and after a few practices, people were like, this is one of the alpha dogs here. This is one of the best D-linemen in the country. He's going up against guys who were, at private academies all the time working out and have played football their whole life. So I think his upside is as good as any kind of defensive lineman they signed in recent years. Now, I don't know if that translates to him being a Mason Smith level, like, oh boy, you put him out there in year one and you can just see it type of guy. But I think they'll develop him. We've seen Kelly talk about that being paramount. Development. Getting these guys that much better every single season, putting them in a position to have success. I think by year 2 and 3, Wiggins is going to be one of the better players on the team. He's going to have that sort of, almost like how B.J. Ojulari's been. Like every year you see it to where, when it's rolling into year 3 or whatever it might be, you're saying, hey, look, we're going to lean on that guy to be one of the better guys on our defense.
Yeah.
Since Quincy is okay, and obviously the scooter thing, I think that was great to see that he popped up. Does that help him get his fifth star? You think the way he was able to bounce back from that accident?
That was just a stride. Is that I guess it was in shock, or is it just that much of a beast? It's like, oh man, just got right up and walked this one off real quick. Like,
I mean, the bounce up was as impressive as anything that happened. I mean, it was
like
scary,
a video
bro.
game.
It did. It was scary. A sun-shining Thursday for Shea Dixon in South Louisiana, which means you should be able to find him at Superior Bar and Grill somewhere around 2 o'clock.
Right. Yes.
I mean, 2 p.m., we've got the over-under here set on the Jordy Culotta show. The under looks like the lock right now. Enjoy the day, my friend.
Well, the happy hour doesn't start till 3. So that's
okay.
A real veteran.
Yeah,
he knows.
Right. Happy hour just keeps creeping up earlier and earlier throughout the course of the day.
Shea's got that VIP happy hour, though. Maybe an hour ahead. Answer your questions for the recruiting expert here. We'll probably see you over there, buddy. Enjoy the day.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, see you.
We're close
There
now.
is Shea Dixon joining
he
us
goes
here.
to Highland Superior.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
He is
we're
a
not
part of the
close to
welcome
him.
committee over there.
Yeah. Not our superior over here, Lloyd.
Yeah, It's worth the
Daily,
drive,
we're
though.
brought to you by GoFlow IV. Remember, online at GEAUX, flowiv.com. If you want to get in touch with our friends over there at GoFlow, you can do that by logging online. They are Baton Rouge's premier IV spa where they can help you out. No, that is our next door neighbors.
It's a bunch of lumber being.
It sounds like somebody's going through the kitchen
It
cabinet.
really does.
Well, that's the rooster and his crew. GoFlow IV and Spa. You can count on them over next door to be loading up material between 7 and 9 a.m.
Every day.
every morning.
They'll be
GoFlow
finished somewhere
IV,
around 2035.
GEAUX, Flow IV, and then they'll have another project.
Absolutely.
Baton Rouge's premier medical spa specializing in IV hydration treatments with vitamin infusion. You can find them on Jefferson Highway, 7970 Jefferson Highway. And they offer memberships over there, 3-month, 6-month, annual accounts. Whether you suffer from chronic dehydration, illness recovery, hangover cures, or if you're looking to improve your athletic performance, get in touch with GoFlow IV. GEAUX Flow. IV.com, GoFlowIV.com. It is good to see the Carpool Queen.
Thank you.
Good morning. Everybody good here?
Yeah, everybody good.
She did
Traffic.
good. She did great yesterday, getting us in and out of breaks. Like
Bro, y'all handled it.
She did good.
It.
She knocked in some
crushed
sponsors. I was like, okay.
Pinch
It's good
hitting.
stuff.
We did good.
She did good.
I was not worried at
double.
all. I was not worried at all. Yeah, found the gap.
Found the gap.
Yeah.
You just get your head out the gutter one time.
Yeah, right.
Always in the
Jeez.
gutter.
I don't know
And
what
it
y'all are
makes mine
talking
be in the
about.
gutter.
Jeez,
too.
the problem with
Anything,
baseball is
I'm
there's
like,
too
As
many.
soon as I said it, I was like, I'm walking into the
Yeah.
gutter.
Yep.
Yep.
There's too many phrases in
Damn it.
baseball that go right to the
They
gutter.
do.
Yep.
It's
They
okay
do.
though, you know,
That's
it
true.
happens. It's all part of it. Yeah.
3-hole hitter.
3-hole, right? Yep. It's
Double in
it's
the gap.
Double in the gap. She got it's got to
Jeez,
They, I
bro.
mean, shit. You talk about going
Can we
to
give
first,
any
second, third
compliment?
base, hitting a home run.
Yeah,
Like that's
that's
all.
right. It is all
all
very
part of-
sexual.
it's
That was a grand
Why is
slam.
baseball
Yeah.
so
Grand slam.
sexual?
Because we're bored
It's
in
a
there.
very
That's right.
beautiful
a
sport.
lot of time to kill.
A lot of
That's
time
right.
to kill,
A lot
no
of
doubt.
beef.
In fact, Mikey got new wood yesterday, didn't he?
There it is. There it is.
Is that
Got
right?
brand new one. It's not finished though. It's
right?
it's real raw. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Hey, one more
Gotta
doctor's
stiffen
visit.
it up.
Yeah. I gotta put some tar on it. Really get some grip on that
Beat
thing.
that thing a little bit,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
Cut the
Yeah.
tip a little
Take
bit.
a couple of
Great.
whacks
it comes
with
in. It comes in a nice little case. It's like it's good.
Oh my god.
Oh, you're a case guy?
Yeah, get a couple of
no,
whacks,
that's
bro.
what it comes in. You saw it. A
I
little
know.
clear.
I thought that
the clear
stopped
case.
after marriage. I didn't think you had to wear one anymore.
So it's good to be back with you here on this Thursday. Make sure to hit that like button, share button, comment button. We're going to talk the Cincinnati Bengals with Ben Baby. We screwed up all those stats on the last time they won. It wasn't the Bo Jackson game. That was definitely that year, but people are talking about the Oilers. We're going to get it all straight.
You know what stat they didn't
From
screw
Ben
up,
Baby.
or I didn't screw
We
up.
really were just making sure
Text
everybody
message.
paying attention.
No, the text message.
It does
stat.
look like that the
Yeah,
text message.
you were
How?
right, Lloyd. Sorry.
How?
I'm sorry.
I mean, in
I don't even know there were
1992.
cell phones in
I mean,
1992.
cell phones
That was
looked like
probably-
this
yeah,
in
it was
1992.
something
How could
weird.
you?
Firing
Shut.
off text, dude.
It wasn't
Where?
like someone
How?
sitting there like this.
I still don't believe it.
I
So
feel like that was like a
who won?
computer. Like you're typing
It
on a
had to
computer.
be
That would be an
something.
email. That was AOL. Do you remember that?
Did AOL start in
Yes.
1992 too?
You've got mail.
You've
How
got mail.
exciting was
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, it was so
was.
awesome.
Yeah, it was.
And
Instant
AIM
messenger.
instant messenger was the best.
Yeah, it was
ASL.
the best.
ASL.
Age, sex, location.
Easy.
You were that guy.
You were.
That would go to
You
those.
were.
They were asking me.
Doubling the gap.
I am 9.
Yeah.
Perfect. Have a seat right over here.
And you had it was the big
Got
thing was
one.
the big thing was the away message, like the away message, and
Yes.
see like how cool you can make your away message. See who would like
This is not
Forgot
me.
about
whatever.
that.
You
Yeah,
missed
the
his
away
time.
message was
That
huge.
was awesome.
The
What
away
year
message
was that? Was that
Like 96
7?
or
Yeah.
7,
I mean, I'd
maybe,
have
feel
7
like.
windows open in chats.
Oh,
It was
yeah. Oh, what
unbelievable.
was your
Yeah.
screen name?
It was,
Doubling the gap.
it was at the time.
New wood?
So I wasn't in high school yet. So at the time, it was my football number was
I
12.
said, okay.
So I was Superman 1, 2,
right.
1, 2, 3, 3
Absolutely.
was
No
12,
doubt.
and then
No doubt.
33 was my basketball number.
No doubt.
Oh, for Shaq.
My dad was 33 in middle
nice.
school, high school, so I took that number.
So who won, Lloyd? Like who won this?
I don't know. I
for
figured
the
that would be y'all.
tickets?
That seems, that feels like for y'all to decide.
Well, it's whoever got in first.
Well,
with
I
that
commented on the first guy that got in.
after
So we
said
have
it.
confirmed that it's 92.
Yeah.
We got
I
the
think
exact
it was
date.
Brian Thorgeson
The
gave
exact
the
day.
exact
Nick
date, right?
Locascio said it. Also.
12/3,
There's a bunch of them in here.
1992.
Yeah.
Who was the first one though?
Brian Thorgeson, it looks like. He said 12/3/1992.
All right, well, y'all do the logistics stuff. We're going to get Ben Baby in here. Remember, Cajun Ready Mix Concrete, CajunReadyMixConcrete, anything that you're looking for, industrial, municipal, residential, get in touch with them. They can help you with your concrete. CajunRMC.com. We'll talk Bengals. Joey and the boys taking on Las Vegas this weekend in Cincinnati. Is it Bengals?
Bengals.
Bengals?
You say
Yeah,
Bayou
I was going to ask
Bengals?
you about that. You
Me
do say
too.
Bengals.
Do I?
You
Isn't
think?
it Bengals?
You think
Yeah.
Ben Baby knows?
Channeling a little Brian Kelly. Leave me alone.
Family.
You think Ben Baby knows if Who Day started in Who Day or Who Dat? Do you think he knows that answer?
That bugs me.
Definitely.
I
Like,
don't want to
why
ask
Who
him because
Day?
he's he's the
Probably not.
he's probably
he probably
biased,
does.
and he may be biased.
But I mean, like, he's only been covering the Bengals
There you go.
for
we go.
for like 4 years,
Right.
3 years.
But isn't
so
that
it's
copying the Saints? Like,
Well, that's the
they
thing.
think
Who
so.
copied who? You know.
Yeah, no, it was first. Who dat was first?
That's
for
what
sure,
we don't
right?
know. We don't know.
I mean, who that's cooler? So who cares?
Well, it is.
Yeah,
Right?
who dat?
It is.
Well, they probably think Who Day is cooler.
Well, I mean, they
Who
also
dat
think
has-
Skyline Chili is cool.
Who
bro.
dad's got
Yeah.
the Louisiana flair to it.
It does. That's
Who
why I
Day
feel
does
like
it
was
like
first.
Ohio
Did you
doesn't
ever,
have that
have
Who
you
Day.
tried
No.
the Skyline Chili while at road trip in Cincinnati?
not-
yeah, bro.
That looks terrifying.
We'll ask Ben Baby about
Brandon
it.
said who dat was started first.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll believe
I
it.
think
Brandon,
that-
you're right.
I think the timeline is very close, though. I think it's like 1 year apart, kind of like what we were talking about with the text messages. I think that is Who Dat and then Who Day, or Who Day and Who Dat, but they were very close to following each other. So somebody copied somebody.
Andrew Simon's in the chat.
Oh boy.
Hashtag remind Mikey. But I need one of those gray hoodies that Lloyd has on.
Okay, I got you, brother-in-law. I got you.
That dude, bro. He was walking around the
Mikey.
Baton Rouge Best Dressed Ball saying, "I'm the best looking dude here."
And he believed it.
Fucking love this kid.
He
dude.
believed it.
It was like,
unbelievable.
seriously, I mean, it
Look at
took
me.
all these people 10 hours to get ready. It took me 20 minutes. Look at me.
I look great.
Ben Baby next year, the Jordy Culotta Show.
Oh
That's
man.
so good.
Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU, bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU, bluewater.com. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Getting ready for playoff football as Joey and the boys, Burrow and the boys, going to be hosting the Las Vegas Raiders this Saturday, a part of NFL Wild Card Weekend. This will be a playoff home game for the Cincinnati Bengals, who are looking for their first win in the postseason since 91, which is right around the time that the first text message was shared, which is crazy. Ben Baby covers the Cincinnati Bengals. He does great work. We have had a relationship with Baby for a long time, as he used to cover SEC football down for the Dallas Morning News and would come on with us routinely. And now with Burrow and Chase and all the LSU love in that part of the world right now, he is a great resource for us. In fact, we're hoping to line him up for the next couple of weeks throughout this playoff run if Cincinnati can stay alive. Ben, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are y'all doing?
Doing good. Welcome back to the conversation. What is life like in Cincinnati right now as they look for their first playoff win since 91? I got to imagine that the streets are buzzing right now around Cincinnati.
Yeah, there's definitely a feel in the city that hasn't been here for a long time. Obviously, the Bengals haven't been to the playoffs since 2015 when they lost to the Steelers in that infamous Vontaze Burfict Antonio Brown game. But like you said, they've been without a playoff win since 1991. And I think that there's a different feel because of what Burrow brings to town. Talking to some folks, I think that there definitely is a sense that there's a renewed sense of optimism because of how the Bengals have played and how they've looked with Burrow at quarterback. And, I was talking to a local radio guy in town, Mo Egger, and he said that, during that Andy Dalton run, whenever they had Andy Dalton, AJ Green, through 2011 to 2015, there wasn't the same sense that this team could really go and do something like there was with Burrow and now with Jamar playing really well. So I think that the Bengals right now I think there should be a great crowd on Saturday for that game. And the Bengals, let's be honest, I think they're expected to win this game, even though the history suggests that, they haven't been good in 3 decades in the postseason. This is a team that were heavy favorites at the beginning of the week. They beat Vegas earlier in the season, and they've been playing really well in December. So I expect the Bengals to break this streak, and we'll see what this means for the start of the Burrow legacy.
Cincinnati had the AFC North wrapped up last weekend. Burrow decided to watch that one from the bench. I can't imagine what that conversation was like between Zach Taylor and Joey about taking him away from a football game. But where is his health going into this weekend?
I think it's actually in a pretty good place given all the nicks and bruises that he got throughout the season. He had his pinky injury that he suffered and had to play through, and then he had a right knee issue that's been bothering him a little bit as well. So the Bengals decided to give him a week off, and he didn't even make the trip to Cleveland for that Week 18 loss. But he said he feels really good mentally. I think he feels like he's in a good place, and we've definitely seen some good energy this week at practice. And all things considered, I think that as the season has progressed, Burrow has become a lot more comfortable. And the one injury we don't talk about this season is the left knee injury, which is crazy because that's the one that everybody was concerned about, given that he tore multiple ligaments in that knee in his rookie season. And as the year progressed, Burrow has gotten so much more comfortable in how he's looked in the pocket, how he's felt in the pocket. And we've seen that pocket presence increase, and I think that that's why we're seeing him play his best football. So, we had some minor injuries, but the big injury that we all were wondering how he was going to be able to recover from, I think he's done a fantastic job of rehabbing from that and just overall improving his game in the second year. So I don't think enough can be said about the progress that Burrow's made from year 2 to year 1. And really the Bengals can't ask for, from a team standpoint, can't ask for a much better health situation.
Over 4,600 yards throwing for Burrow here in year 2, 34 touchdowns compared to 14 interceptions. Jamar Chase steps on the scene in year 1 for his rookie season and sets a franchise record with 1,455 yards and 13 touchdowns on 81 grabs. What is the expectation around these two? We've talked about it down here, Ben, a couple of times. I mean, has the conversation already started of paying Burrow begun within the front office of Cincinnati?
It's a little early to say. Year 2, I think it's really hard. Honestly, I don't even know if you could restructure a rookie contract that early. They may have to wait a little while for that. But I think there's no question that they feel good about their decision to make him the franchise quarterback. And looking back, there was there were some good quarterbacks in that draft class, and the Bengals had a good look at a few of them. Jalen Hurts was at the Senior Bowl along with Justin Herbert, who the Bengals really liked, and there was definitely a lot of optimism that Herbert would be a really good quarterback in the NFL, and he's proven that. But I think that the Bengals feel great about their decision to take Burrow, and he's really elevated the franchise. And one of the big things that can't go understated is that Joe Burrow isn't a loser, and I wrote about that over at ESPN.com last week, and that at every level, he's been able to elevate the team that he's joined and turn them into a championship winner or competing for championships. I think the only exception was in high school was that, he was a defensive stop away from winning a state title here in Ohio, but he had the game-winning drive all wrapped up and ready to go if the defense could have gotten off the field one more time. And we all saw what he did at LSU when he became the starter and was given the reins of a team. And I think you have that same feeling in Cincinnati, and there's a certain sense of confidence and belief that kind of permeates throughout the team, and it all starts with number 9. So, that has been a big thing for them this season. And as we've seen other teams across the NFL, we have drafted young quarterbacks and are still wondering, is this guy going to really be the guy who's going to be taking us and carrying us for the next few years? I think the Bengals have to feel pretty good that right now Burrow is someone who can be the centerpiece of their franchise.
You mentioned Burrow's playoff loss. It's guaranteed that he still thinks about that at night. It's the one that got away for him. He'll still tell you that.
No
also, those high school seniors. Also, those high school seniors that are still in Ohio that lost that game. They're not happy with you right now.
Think about the 11 on defense. I bet he was dying to play safety. He was like, "Get me out there." But Ben, I have a question. Oh, go ahead.
No, what's funny is Burrow actually had an interception at safety in that playoff.
Of course he did.
And also, I asked him during the week of the state, during the week of the Ohio State Championship, do you think about that game? He goes, I think about it all the time. Like, that's definitely something that he is not happy about.
It's unbelievable. But we were talking about Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and how it feels like they kind of hit on both draft picks when obviously Joe Burrow's turned out to be what he is. And then there was conversation about Penei Sewell or Jamar Chase. They go Jamar Chase. Do you think that the Bengals have landed not only the Offensive Rookie of the Year, but now the Comeback Player of the Year and Joe Burrow? Are they going to get both awards with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow?
I think it's really hard to vote against Jamar for Offensive Rookie of the Year when you look at what he's done. I mean, I think it might be one of the best seasons in Bengals franchise history as a receiver, period. Not just rookie season. Yeah. I mean, he holds a single game receiving record and the season receiving record, and broke Justin Jefferson's record for the post Super Bowl era for most rookie receiving yards. It's really phenomenal. I think for Comeback Player of the Year, he's going to really have his work cut out for him because I think Dak Prescott over in Dallas done a really good job coming back from another big injury. So I think between Dak and Joe, I don't think anybody's going to be mad if either one of those guys wins it. But the fact that they both have put themselves into contention for those awards is big. And really, when you look at it for the long term, we've seen some really good tandem, quarterback wide receiver tandems across the NFL. And, when earlier this year, there was, I believe it was the Baltimore defensive coordinator said, asking about, if Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow deserve the same attention as Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. He kind of said, let's pump the brakes. And Burrow was not too pleased with the fact that Wink said that, we don't need to get him a gold jacket yet. But, I think that tandem of Jamar and Joe, we're really seeing it. All those reps they had at LSU are really, paying off for the Bengals right now, and that chemistry that they built in Baton Rouge has really, come to fruition and really translated well to the NFL. And, going back to that draft conversation, I was a little skeptical, to be honest, of how important that was. And I really wonder, how much stock do you put into how much a guy played with another guy in college when you're talking about moving that over to the NFL? And I'll tell you what, I think it's made a big difference. You can definitely tell, especially when Joe throws those back shoulder balls to Jamar, or when he's in a tight situation. He knows, like he said, Jamar's down there somewhere, and he's been throwing it to Jamar down there for a long time, and he's got a lot of confidence and faith that if he puts it in Jamar's vicinity, good things are going to happen.
They are fun to watch, man. They have carried that over to the pro game, which has been incredible to see. Las Vegas and Cincinnati matched up in the regular season. I believe it was week 11, and Cincinnati actually snapped a skid in going into that matchup, coming away from it with a win. They're favored this weekend. How does this matchup stack up going into Saturday?
I think the Bengals have to feel good about where they're at now. The Raiders are really hot, won their last 4 games to get in the postseason. And I think they do some things really well that could be problems for Cincinnati. Defensively, the Raiders have a really good front that starts with Max Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue, and Denzel Perriman at linebacker is really good. And the Bengals' offensive line has been pretty poor at times throughout the year, if we're being quite honest. And I think, if Crosby and Ngakoue are able to affect Burrow early and kind of rattle him, that may be able to keep him off rhythm and allow the Raiders to really take a stronghold in that game. And then on the other side of the ball, Darren Waller, one of the best tight ends in the league, and Hunter Renfrow, a slot receiver who we all saw dominate when he was at Clemson. He's really coming into his own, and Derek Carr has, even without Henry Ruggs, got a couple of really good, capable options on the offensive side. But, the big thing is how are the Bengals going to attack this game? In the first game, like you said, they used Joe Mixon to go to, really wear that team down. In the second half, they were able to really run the ball well, and that's what the Bengals wanted to do. But at the same time, I wonder now that the offense is really rolling. We see them using Burrow a lot as he drops back, and he's been, really prolific in these last few games. Will the Bengals try to basically boat race, the Raiders instead of trying to ground and pound like they did the first time? So I think it's going to be really fascinating to see how Cincinnati attacks Vegas, and it'll tell us a lot about how good they feel about this team.
The locker room was an absolute madhouse after they clinched their position in the division. You got to see one of our favorite versions of Joe Burrow, Cigar Joe Burrow, and it looks like the locker room really has a lot of chemistry. Were they kind of gathered around the TV to watch the Raiders-Chargers game to see who they were going to play in their first matchup in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think they were. By that time, everybody was home. I was asleep. I think I said, wake me up in the morning. We'll figure out who's playing in the wild card game. It ain't going to matter to me either way. But I think they were all trying to figure out what was going on. Zach Taylor, the coach, said, it was kind of he kind of expressed the same kind of bizarre feeling that everybody had as that game went into overtime. and they kind of whatever happened. But I think it's actually a good matchup for the Bengals. To get the Raiders instead of the Patriots. I think they may have. With Bill Belichick, you never can really count them out. I know that the Patriots haven't been. I think they haven't been maybe as good as we would have liked, or teams people would have liked towards the end of the season. But with Belichick in there, I think that would have been a pretty tough matchup and an interesting coaching matchup going up against Zach Taylor. But when you look at how things shake out for the Bengals, when you look at it, there's really no reason not to think that Burrow and Jamar and the Bengals could be playing for an AFC championship. I mean, this conference has been wide open the entire year. Man. Nobody's really been able to separate themselves. And the fact that they were able to beat Kansas City the way they did in Week 17 goes to show that, they can hang with the best in the NFL right now, which is huge at this point in the season. So if they can get past this game, we'll see what the draw looks like for the divisional round. But it's not out of the realm of possibility that the Bengals could be playing for Super Bowl.
No doubt. I know you said they could play for the AFC Championship game, which I fully believe that. They have Joey B as a franchise guy. Organization going to give Joey B and the boys an indoor facility finally? I know he's a grinder and he gets through a bunch of stuff, but let's get these guys out the cold weather.
The players are irrelevant here. Let's talk about the writers. The writers are the ones standing out there.
I saw Zach giving you some shit, dude.
That's what we really need. We need more media petitions to get an indoor facility. But, it's interesting. There's always been chatter about it. Will the Bengals ever get one? Zach Taylor seemed pretty happy with the fact that they've been practicing in the cold all week, and they're going to get a team from Vegas who plays indoors to come out here and play when it's going to be 20 degrees. So, if they win, it may set back the movement for an indoor facility.
You can have the option of going indoor or outdoor. If you need to practice outdoor, you can practice, but you give them the option,
Especially for the writers.
You're preaching to the choir. I come from Texas, and the worst high school football teams have indoor facilities.
Yeah, I know. It's unbelievable.
There's a way to make it happen.
Yeah.
How many shirts do you have on right now?
I've only got I'm indoors. I've got the house. I've got the thermostat set at 66 degrees. I feel great. When I get out there, I might wear a cutoff shirt when I go out there today. It's going to be dirty too. It'll be fine. I can handle it.
Ben, are we correct on this? Is the last Bengals win, is it with the Bo Jackson injury?
That was the Bo Jackson game. So there is the curse of Bo Jackson is a real thing in Cincinnati. So the Bengals won their first round game in the 1990-91 playoff season. Second round game was a divisional game. And that would happen to be Bo Jackson's final game. He got hurt, the hip dislocated, and we all know what happened after that. But since then, the Bengals have not won a game, and over time, it has morphed into the curse of Bo Jackson. And so it's quite comical how it works out. I really don't think curses are real, but there's been so much bad luck that people say we got to attribute it to something. And now yesterday, T. Higgins popped up on the injury report with a mysterious foot injury, and I watched him at the beginning of practice. So if I'm about to go out there here in a little bit, and if T's not there and he's not practicing, he's hurt for this game, those curse takes are really going to start flying around, especially if the Bengals don't end up winning this game. So, yes, the curse of Bo Jackson's a real thing. We wrote about it over on ESPN.com. So if you're interested, please go check that out.
Luckily for y'all have the voodoo doctor in town, Joey Burrow. No hexes on Burrow. No way. It's a great read. Ben Baby has authored a lot of great reads over at ESPN.com, and one of them is titled "Bo Knows Hexes: How the Bengals Are Poised to Break Through the Curse of Bo Jackson versus the Raiders this Saturday." All the eyeballs from South Louisiana and all over our state will be draped on Cincinnati this Saturday at 3:30 for the kickoff versus Vegas. Thank you for the insight, Ben. We'll be touching base soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, y'all.
Who Day.
Big weekend for Skyline.
Okay, I have the answer about Who Day.
What is it?
So apparently in the 60s, he's still there. In the 60s,
he wants to know.
In the 60s, a lot of little schools around New Orleans were using it in skits, like just Who Dat.
Did St. Aug invent it?
I don't know. It doesn't say that, but it says during the 1980 season, Bengals fans were the first group in the NFL to chat who they think they're going to beat the Bengals. And then 3 years later, in '83, the Saints chanted who dat say they're going to beat them Saints.
So it sounds like the Saints.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
but
sounds like Louisiana came up with it.
Yeah, Louisiana did come up
with it. And the Bengals stole it and put it on there.
They put it on merchandise.
They stole it,
making money
they
off
stole
of
it from kids.
Yeah,
children. Think of the children.
That's bullshit.
That is. Who dat? Who dat? That's right. Remember City Cafe
Day this weekend, boys.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. City Cafe brings you the Jordy Culotta Show. I was over at City Cafe yesterday. Great lunch specials over there.
Any chili?
I didn't see any Skyline chili. I went with the with kind of like the City Cafe Salad, just kind of a salad. Oysters. Oysters as always,
Okay.
as always. CityCafeBR.net is where you find it. They're on O'Neal and George O'Neal. Been in business for 100 years. CityCafeBR.net.
Have they really 100 years?
100 years. Started in Plaquemine in
That's crazy.
1918.
By Squeaky Moran.
Squeaky Miranda's great-grandfather.
Really?
Yeah.
Big Squeak.
Cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Was
That's
he really
awesome
big
that
squeak?
stayed in this family for that long.
Big Squeak.
The biggest squeak.
The first squeak.
Old squeaker.
Don't make me call it Big Squeak.
CityCafeBR.net. CityCafeBR.net. All right, good show today. Appreciate
Great show.
everybody stopping by here. Ben Baby from ESPN.com stopping, talking Cincinnati Bengals.
What's his real name?
It's Ben Baby.
Are
His
you
last name is Baby.
He been to Baby.
Baby.
Are you putting money on the Bengals?
Already
Bengals?
have
5.5.
Bengals.
I'm putting it on there.
5.5.
I'm taking it.
I got him a
Really?
teaser.
Big bet weekend.
Big teaser weekend.
Yeah, this is a big bet
Yeah.
weekend.
It's always a teaser weekend for you.
I
It's
know.
always a teaser.
Well, when they hit, it feels so
Yeah.
right.
I like the parlays. I like the big. I like the
I
risk.
know.
The
Speaking
risky-
of parlays, it won yesterday.
Did you
Little
hit it?
LSU
Did you
money
hit
line
it?
in the under. Hit.
Wow!
And then
Wow!
the
You
under.
want same game parlay?
Same game parlay, boys.
Wow.
Yep. Put
Wow.
that.
What was the over-under on that game?
138.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
64-58.
Yeah,
Right
see,
there.
you gotta
for
play.
you.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, our bet, the mic'd up bet didn't pan out. We went
you go?
we went the first half under because usually
Yeah.
and they started off hot.
LSU came out hot,
Hot.
man. What did they
Didn't
score?
get- didn't
38,
get it.
39 in the first
Well, that's
half?
what Will Wade said. He's like, we were shooting the lights out the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wade was fantastic this morning, the morning after a win, and getting ready for Arkansas on Saturday. So if
1
you missed
o'clock,
that,
right?
1 o'clock
Arkansas?
tip-off, and Daniel Newman's tailgate is going to start up at 10:30.
Ooh, it moved a little earlier. Huh?
What time did I say?
11.
About around 11.
Who's on the tailgate?
Daniel
You know what?
Newman's
Show
doing
up there
it.
at 8 a.m. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Lot
Whatever.
105.
105.
Okay, there we go.
105.
There we go.
Right by the natatorium. And I'm going to be in and out because we're throwing
Shocking.
Jay's birthday party
Aw.
At
on
the game?
Saturday. No,
Like
we're not doing the
tailgate,
game. We're
no?
doing. We got a movie theater.
Oh,
Fun.
you ran out the.
Spider-Man.
In and out.
Oh, that's all. I've
Yeah,
always
that's
wanted
a
to do
good
that.
party.
You know,
Yes, it's
great.
very easy to do.
It is
Yeah,
very easy.
that's very
Easy.
great. What do y'all? What's what's showing?
Spider-Man,
Yeah.
The new one?
the new one.
Nice.
Heard it's great.
I heard it's
I
great
know,
too.
I heard that too.
Yeah,
I've
and we
seen it.
planned it. This is on me. We planned it without looking at the because the basketball game probably would have been a good, but you can't find tickets anymore.
Unless
And
you
he's
know
got,
my guy,
like-
thank you, TG. My guy, Tom Granning,
Yeah, Tom
airdropped me
Granning
some
hooked you up.
tickets.
But I mean, I
yesterday.
would be
Very
looking
nice
for
of
like
him.
12, right?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's
I can't
hard.
be there. Yeah.
That's a hard thing to do
Not
unless
anymore.
unless you did it
Yeah, like I mean,
3
Trent
months
Johnson.
ago.
I mean, it ain't happening anymore.
Yeah.
You get 12 to a football game.
Yeah, you could.
You could have.
So we're gonna be. So we'll be in and out. On Saturday morning.
I did have a birthday party at a football game. I was like 12.
That's a great one.
It was the LSU Auburn game when we rushed the field.
No
Fun.
way.
My mom was like telling us not to, and then
No.
and all of a sudden she just started throwing us over the fence. Go, just get over there.
When
No,
Flynn
before
hit
that.
Bird?
It was before that. It was
It was before that one.
It was before that one. It was I don't know what game it was. Maybe it wasn't Auburn. It was but
What
we
year?
rushed the
What
field.
year?
I don't know.
Yeah.
How old were you? When's your birthday?
I want to say I was like
Backtrack.
it was in the
Give
it was
us
early
answers.
2000s. So
Early
like,
2000s, so like 2001.
maybe
Was it the Tennessee game?
it may have been that. It may have been. It was whatever game it was.
Yeah.
It was awesome. We
That's
had
a great-
six. We had 6 of them. My uncle had tickets like right behind the
Ron?
bench. No,
Ron.
not Ron. My uncle. My uncle had my mom's brother.
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Had tickets right behind the bench.
Sit down, Ronnie. I got the tickets.
And so
Big LSU
then,
football
so we
guy.
all get there. We had the suite at the Lod Cook that my mom got, and we all were just pallets on the ground. It was awesome. And then they rushed the field, and we just all on the field.
That's
And
fun.
she was scrambling trying to find us, but she got us.
Yeah,
Everybody got home safe.
Could have sent a text message.
It was great.
Yeah, I'm going Tennessee.
I think it was Tennessee.
When's your birthday?
November 30th.
November 30th. They're not Tennessee.
Not Tennessee.
When's the
because
last
that was
But
in
it could have been.
Tennessee.
It may not have been. I don't think it was actually. You know what I mean? It could have
Okay.
been
Could be
like,
like what you do with Jay.
the
yeah,
weekend
yeah.
before
Yeah,
or whatever. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, all right.
Yeah.
When's the last time Tennessee played here?
Last time Tennessee
been a
played
while?
here
I feel like
was
it's
was it
before.
T-Bob?
T-Bob.
Oh, yeah. I was
Okay.
thinking
The
the
T-Bob
Clausen
snap.
game, but
Yeah, it
definitely
seems
the
like that's
T-Bob.
been a while.
Yeah. That's
But
fun.
not since then. They come here next year.
Yeah.
Oh, they do?
And
Yeah,
they're
they
good
come here
again.
next year, and they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I
shit.
remember when they were good. 99.
99. They
Yeah.
won the first
So-
BCS
I
National
wore a
Championship.
Tennessee hat around Mississippi State's campus for like
Wow.
a year. I was
How-
dead set on marrying Peyton.
Really?
Oh, really?
Dead set.
Wow.
Nerd chaser.
Yeah.
Wow.
Total.
Should have been the trainer at Tennessee.
I should have been.
Yeah.
Why wasn't I?
Look at you.
He skated past on that. He skated on that. He skated on that. They could have. In 2022, that would fuck Peyton Manning up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's toast.
Well, I don't know if he's toast because he's probably too good to be toast. But he would come with this. He's definitely not marketing Sony.
He's got some baggage.
You know what I mean? Like he's definitely not. He's not on the Visa commercials.
No, there's no mini cast.
You know what I mean? Like, because that was pretty fucked up.
Yeah,
that was pretty fucked up. Hashtag Ask Mikey.
Hey,
when was the last time you were in Oakdale?
Hey.
Oh.
Why?
That's where my mom grew up.
Okay.
I mean,
Like,
who sent this question?
Shoot.
You know what? We're off. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.
You only looked at
Sorry
Ask
about
Mikey
that.
and then like
Probably like 6-7 years ago. Like after my grandmother passed, we never went. We haven't gone back.
Where is that?
I mean, it is. It's like
Sticks.
in between.
Sticks,
yeah, it's the sticks. Like there's probably.
Is that like South Louisiana? Then?
No, it's going up towards North. It's probably 45 minutes south of
Monroe?
Alexandria.
Oh, okay.
Of Ash, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're familiar with Oakdale.
I don't really know where.
So you would go through like Ville Platte, and then it's from about an hour from Ville Platte, and then about 45 minutes from Alexandria. Yeah, it was.
That's like super Cajun, I guess.
It's we had some good times because of our family,
Dale.
but it was.
You don't really want to go there unless you have family there. Not a lot to do.
Derek Cropper says, update on Harold Perkins. It sounds like Uncle Al's keeping LSU in it, and Shea Dixon was talking about that at 8 a.m. So go back and check that out.
I think Uncle Frank's keeping LSU in it.
Yes, Uncle Frank is keeping us in it for
might
sure.
Be Uncle Gordy here too.
Uncle Frank Wilson. Yes.
I'm scared of Harold's mama.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
I mean, she's serious.
Remember, RMB Builders brings back all of our sounds. So anything you missed today, Will Wade, Shea Dixon, and Ben Baby, all a part of today's podcast. All compliments of RMB Builders. Hashtag RMBbuilders.com, RMB-builders.com. Thomas Lamont, hashtag Ask Mikey, who on the 09 team would win in an inter-squad home run derby?
Ooh, Ryan Schimpf.
Really?
Guy had some stupid
That dude
juice.
could turn on it, bro.
He had some meat hook forms.
Oh.
Yeah. Ryan Schimpf. When in BP, his BP was special. His BP was nice. And he could.
Not Chad?
Yeah. Chad, but like, I just don't know if Chad would consistently get him out. Like, Chad, I mean, maybe hit the furthest.
Yeah.
Blake Dean had some juice. He could hit some homers. I think Schimpf would do it.
Schimpf hit some in the league that you were like, dang.
He had a year he had 20 homers.
Little dude turning on it, man.
He had 20 home runs one year in the big leagues.
Wait, what's this? Ask Mikey. American Coney Island or Lafayette Coney Island? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Does anybody know that?
Coney Island, like
Coney
New Jersey?
Dogs,
That's what I was thinking of.
Is that where they do the hot dog eating contest?
Yeah,
I think so.
they do.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard anything of Lafayette.
Me either.
Am I gonna get disowned?
I thought you were gonna immediately know, like, Lafayette Coney Island.
No, I think that's a great sign that he does it. I think they're messing with him. I mean, he's got to know. The guy's from Lafayette. He's a legend.
I hope I would know. I don't know. Did I miss that boat on that? Like, I don't know.
Lafayette Mardi Gras? Thoughts?
Lafayette Mardi Gras fun.
Okay, good.
I think it's right
behind. You got to go to the ball though, right?
You got to go to Bonaparte
Yeah.
Ball, St. Gabriel Ball, but like the parades, like it's not as big as New Orleans,
Sure.
but I think like.
But they embrace who they are and they own it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
I did the one Lafayette Ball. It was fun.
I've never been
Bonaparte. You went to Bonaparte?
Yeah,
that one's a good one.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Never been to a Mardi Gras ball.
And then I did one Mardi Gras in Eunice, which is
I heard Eunice Mardi Gras.
nuts.
Awesome. I've never been to that one. I've heard it's
whack.
awesome.
Like they do like the Mardi Gras Indians, horseback, like chasing chickens, like crazy
I've heard
outdoor,
I've heard about that.
Cajun, get fucked up all day,
That would be
lose
fun.
your mind. Like it is like one of those days that when you're in, I didn't know what I was stepping into. Like my boys from Eunice, like when we were in college, he brought like a pack of us back for Mardi Gras Day, and you could tell the night before, like
they were geared
tomorrow
up.
it's on.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like we're into something. You know what I mean?
I don't
like,
know what, but it's
I don't
supposed to be
know
a
what's
day.
about to go on, but tomorrow's about to be. It kind of feels like St. Patrick's Day in Baton Rouge. If you were to bring somebody in like the night before St. Patrick's Day and you had never experienced St. Patrick's Day in Baton Rouge, you can tell the town is like ready for it. You know what I mean? Like the town is excited for about what's to happen. In Eunice, the night before Mardi Gras, like it's like got this boil to it where you're like,
the fever
it's
pitch.
fucking on tomorrow, man. Like,
get you excited.
I don't know if I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what am I stepping into? And it is, if you have not done it, It's not Lafayette. It's not New Orleans, and they love that.
Yeah.
And they embrace everything about it. And I think you should. I want to say that R.I.P. my guy on Anthony Bourdain. I think he did an episode of Eunice Mardi Gras and like embraced it.
Loved it.
And like did like the Indian dress and did the whole thing. And he took people behind the scenes on it. And I want to say it is one of his most famous broadcasts.
Really?
Like it was the most one that he got the biggest return on.
I want to go to it. Let's go.
I think everybody should do it.
Yeah.
Like everyone
I've never been.
should do it.
I've heard great things.
Like some people it'll grip you and you'll do it for 10 years straight.
Yeah.
Some people you just want to go see it one time. But I think it is something that you have to.
Or can you just show up?
You
Would that
probably
be
could
weird to
show
just
up. No, I don't think you. No, I don't
But
think
if you
it
know
would work.
someone, I'm sure.
But if you knew a local,
yeah, it'd be better.
You know, you could stay
Daryl
out
Simon,
of
huh?
You could stay out of the tourist traps of it.
Daryl Simon, the pride of isn't Daryl Simon from there? Yeah, the mayor. Whenever he got pulled over, and he's like, "I'm going to be the mayor of this town." Like, never heard from him again.
He's like rolling one up.
But
he's like, "Bro, you better leave me alone."
He was doing donuts in the street.
You do need to go try. You need to go to Mardi Gras Ball though. Those are the most fun.
There's one this weekend.
I've been to one in Alexandria,
but there is one this
But
weekend.
like, you need to go. You need you need to go to a New Orleans Mardi Gras Ball.
I think somebody's in here saying Bourdain went to Mamu.
Yeah, somebody.
Is that? I mean, is that kind of the same thing? There you go.
Wow.
That looks like Mamu.
Wow.
There you go.
That's awesome.
That is it. And it usually is raining.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and I've heard about the horses.
Dirty.
Everybody's on horses.
Yeah, everybody's
right?
on horseback.
Yeah.
It's
That's
nuts.
so cool. That's so
it's
cool.
cool.
I didn't know it was like that.
I need to fact check
cool.
myself.
I
I was
wanna
at a
do
Mardi
it.
Gras ball. Rebecca was the queen of it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Lord.
parlay.
She just texted you and said, "Hey, I was."
Definitely
She's like,
that way.
"You idiot."
And I was like, "I'm in New Orleans." Like, it's a big qualifier there.
Must have been the Sarah Edwards ball.
Yeah.
We're messing her.
And we're out.
We're all messing
And just
her
like that,
around.
drop the mic.
Have a great Thursday. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning. Driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. We might have a new
Do or
producer.
don't read everything.
Right.
Believe everything you read. Tiger droppings.
Speaking of, bro, did y'all see that story of the chopped up girlfriend?
Yes.
on the
Yes.
bus?
Yeah,
I was-
that could be Lloyd.
I was just
That
telling
could
her
be.
yesterday.
That might be Lloyd. Could be next. And I'm not making
you see
humor
the
of the
bus?
story, bro. But what in the fuck?
It was so creepy. The bus looked creepy.
Oh my
The
god!
bus
it
looked
did.
like that's exactly what it was for.
Yes,
Yeah.
it had like
Wow.
built. It was like built up on top. The bus.
Yeah.
It had
Yes.
like wooden. It was weird.
What was the old video game? That had the clown car, the ice cream truck, and you would just run into each other on the Nintendo
GTA?
64. No,
Oh.
before that. Oh fuck! I'll think of it. Hold on, give me 1 second. But that's what the van looked like. I'm about to pull up a picture.
How do you cut up your girlfriend?
I mean-
or anybody,
Was it a girlfriend? I don't
really?
know.
Like, how do you cut up
And
something?
he
That's-
was very strategic about it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you
I
read it,
mean-
like it
I
was.
mean, that's serial killer stuff.
Yes.
Oh, without a doubt.
100%.
Speaking of serial killer, there's a new Netflix show, True Crime, about another serial killer. Like
Twisted
What is
Metal.
it about?
The
I love those.
Yeah.
the
Crime podcasts are great.
Awesome.
Great.
This one is about the Times Square killer.
Who's that?
I don't know, but
Okay.
like the 1970s was like the heyday for serial killers, and like they had there's probably like 10, like seriously, there's around the country. That's
It was a
where
spree.
there was like a ton of
Yeah.
serial killers.
It
That's
got
where,
very
like,
popular
Yeah,
to
there
be
were
one.
a lot
Yeah.
in the 70s. Why
And
is
so,
it-
because like
Twisted Metal?
all of them.
Twisted Metal. I just pulled up a picture. Yeah.
Dupes.
That
yeah.
was the
So I
serial
want to.
killer?
I want. No.
Oh, what's
Right?
Twisted
What's
Metal?
Twisted Metal?
Watch.
Video game he's
The
talking
video
about.
Oh, I
game.
thought that was the name of
Hey,
it.
dude! I
Serial
saw
killer.
dudes. I saw dudes last
Old
night. We went
Twisted
to. We went to get some ice cream from
Counterculture.
Counterculture.
Oh, yeah.
Me and the wife.
That's
Dupes give you a
fun.
discount?
I
Dubes
thought
was
you
there.
meant
He
you
gave
and
me the.
Dubes
He gave me the. I was
That's
like,
weird.
I was like, what's up, bro? What's up, bro? And he's like,
oh.
oh, what's going on, man? Yeah, he hooked me up. He gave me some good, a lot of Oreos in there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
See, this
What's
is
your
what-
order?
It does look like that. That's
I just
what
get the
bus
chocolate with
looked
the
like.
Oreos. Just
Chocolate with Oreos?
the chocolate, and I put
Okay.
Oreos in it. Yeah, it's good.
Oh, you go double chocolate?
That is what the bus looked
Yeah.
like.
I go plain granola honey.
Ooh, so you go healthier
Healthy.
than I do.
Ooh,
That sounds delicious.
that
though.
does
is.
sound good.
It
Dude,
is.
go on. Go,
No, dude,
grab
I don't-
a couple.
I don't
Come
mean
back
to,
here
I
with
don't
some
I don't
granola.
even mean to order healthy at ice cream shop, but it is a good
Well, it's
combination.
yogurt, so that's
Was it the Humphrey
healthier
Bogart? Is that
anyway.
what they're known for?
Yeah, that has like
I
the
don't.
grape.
That's too much for
it's
me. I
too
don't
much.
like that. I don't like fruit
It's
in
too
there.
much. It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah, it's too much fruit.
I think the grape is a little excessive, but after that, I mean, the base is great. The foundation is fantastic.
got
Just
good
try to get a little
bones to
cute
it.
with it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
A little overdressed for the game. You know what I mean? You're not that good of a player, bro. Take the towel off.
Swagged out.
Take the towel off.
Too many arm sleeves.
Maybe
and wristbands
de-spat a
on.
little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're gonna play tonight, son.
Yeah, right.
You're wasting tape.
You've got one too many wristbands on. All right, have a great day.
Yeah.
Mikey Montook mic'd up, bro. We're fired up. We're T-minus here.
T-minus.
We're counting down. Logo has been placed. We do urge you to follow the YouTube channel. We will be posting and linking that out here.
Yeah, we're gonna hit you over the head with
that.
Yeah,
we're absolutely gonna smother you with that from all of our social channels.
Tickets.
Tickets.
Yeah, he's not here. Brian isn't local, so we're gonna have to go to someone else that's local. Because I have the tickets in hand. I don't know. We're gonna have somebody email me. The next person.
Not
in line,
the guy with the van.
No, don't dismember me. Just email
just
me.
Get the ticket.
Or the foot fetish guy, really.
Or that guy.
I mean, if we're starting to scratch people off the list, there's a couple more than the guy in the bus. You know what I mean? Like
the feet guy.
The feet guy for sure.
Tony Campbell.
Yeah.
The feet guy.
But email Katie. We'll take our chances.
We'll send her your way.
We'll see.
Unencumbered by herself.
Yeah,
I gotta share my location with everybody here. Like,
we'll see.
I'm going to meet some guy in a parking lot.
Just some bulky tickets, right? Bulky mania.
People really want these tickets. I'll kill for them.
Have a great day. Go Chevrolet driving us.